that problem.
I'd much rather talk about the death of summer than my butthole.
Oh, no, it's dead.
You know what I'd rather talk about? Dan Ryckert.
Yeah?
Exclusive. One of the only people in the world.
Hot exclusive.
Hot exclusive. Dan Ryckert. You just own the mic right now. Tell me all about Red Dead. He got the golden ticket, the only human in the world to
You played it?
I mean, definitely the only person in this room.
To have seen it.
Yeah.
You touched it.
You touched it. You
What did
played
it smell
it.
like?
Tasted the cowboy wall.
Yep, I licked the case.
Did you get
leather.
like manure on you?
No, it's very clean. It's very nice.
Oh.
My beard grew out quite a bit.
What is going on in the world of Red Dead Redemption 2, the second Redemption?
Yes, and we'll quit funning around with you. Jeff Bakalar played it too, so you can hop in if there's anything you want to add.
No, I'll let you take this one. I'll let you steer the reins.
Oh, nice. That's a cowboy talk.
thing.
Yeah, partner.
Yeah.
That game seems...
I'll just correct you where you're wrong.
Okay.
Is all.
All right, let's start here. That game seems extremely impressive.
I mean, you could... Sure, of course it does.
Okay, what about it seems extremely impressive?
So here's the thing.
Defend your statement.
Because I think we might have seen different stuff.
Okay, well,
the way I gather
played one full mission. I watched one full other mission.
Yeah.
And I would say those are, I think, what you would expect from a new Red Dead Redemption in 2018. And
which is?
That it's got that total, polish on it, the voice acting, just the directing. The cinematography, is that a thing in video games, Abby?
I mean,
of course. Yes.
Okay, that's probably good, too.
Camera direction is still a thing you have to do in
the camera
video
direction,
games.
the camera angles, the voice acting.
During the cutscenes, you mean?
The moving talking parts.
Yeah.
Well, during the cutscenes, and there's also, it's got the cinematic mode from GTA, so, when you're riding your horse, you can, hold the trackpad.
Oh, that's smart.
Let's just call that presentation.
Yeah,
yes,
sure.
The whole presentation has that Rockstar thing of this is just on a different level from pretty much most every other game.
Right. Okay, so you played it.
Yes.
Who'd you play as?
Arthur Morgan.
Okay, so Arthur Morgan, the person, no twist, no suddenly all of a sudden you're...
No.
I don't think they're going to reveal that during the preview event.
No?
That's
I
the
mean,
thing.
I saw John Marston. I saw Jack Marston.
Okay.
They are
How
both
did
present.
John sound?
Like himself.
I
think it was him. Is it not him?
I thought there was a whole thing with that voice actor.
Wait, did you say you saw John and Jack Marston?
Was it that voice actor, or was it the guy who played Nico in 4 that they had a falling out
They had
with?
that with Nico. Nico had some issues with the pay from GTA 4.
If this isn't the original person, the original dude, the impersonator is amazing.
So
How much was he actually in it, though? I hope he doesn't have a big role.
There was just this one scene I saw where it's it's the aftermath of him getting hurt, you know, and you see him kind of
his
get
wife
bandaged
and
up
his
and
kid
everything.
come in.
I am not a big fan of let's explain the scars.
And then he built C-3PO, which was really confusing.
That is
But,
weird.
doesn't make any
How does he
sense.
feel
I don't
about
get
pod
it.
racing?
Oh, he loves it.
He does, he
yeah,
really?
Yeah, that's the first thing he says when he gets on his horse.
That's
is,
pod
now this is pod racing. Yeah. Then Sebulba shows up.
Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah.
Sebulba's kind of a dick and
Yes.
also kind of offensive.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
He's
So
a
it's
bad person.
Weird direction for Rockstar, but actually that plays. Yes, you're right. This is top to bottom.
Yes.
So it's Baby Jack then, right?
Well, no. Baby Jack, his son. He is a very young
Because this is
child.
before the events of Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, this is 1899.
Okay.
Yes.
Turn of the century.
No, the cars are even older and shakier.
The steam is steamier.
It's even steamier. The punk is even punkier.
So, yes, John Marston is in it. It does sound a lot like John Marston.
Okay.
I did ask if it was the same actor, and I got hey, we're not ready to talk about that yet.
Okay.
So, I don't know what the deal is.
So you played as Arthur
Yes.
Conan Doyle, and then you are part of the gang.
Yes, you are part of Dutch's gang.
You're the right-hand man of the gang, right?
Which John is a part of.
Yes.
Okay, so in the parts you played, what'd you do? Walk me through it.
Well, okay, so there were the missions, but then the part, like I was saying, those missions feel like you would expect.
They're open world style missions.
Yeah, I mean, they're Rockstar style missions. They're extremely well done. They were awesome. One involved robbing a train. One involved going down through the woods and having kind of a shootout in the woods. Does this sound like?
Yeah,
what you
we
had?
saw the same stuff.
Where you had a guy that was a bad gang member that was tied
he
up in your
turned on
camp
his gang and showed
exactly.
you where his gang was hanging out.
Yep. Okay. So we played the same stuff. The main thing that I took away from it was the open world elements seem to be on a different level than the first one, and that is my favorite stuff. With the first one was, I loved the missions and everything. I love the story. It's great, but I liked just going around the towns and interacting with people and just going to saloons, playing the games, hunting, just kind of exploring that world and everything.
I was just playing that game the other night, and I literally spent an hour just playing Texas Hold'em with dudes until I made them all bust out.
Right. Yeah, those are the things I like the most about Red Dead. And
so what felt turned up here?
So, well, first of all, they've shown that trailer where it's L2 is this interaction button. So with every NPC in the game.
High five, everybody, and take a selfie.
Yep.
So many selfies in this
Yes.
game.
You can. So like dogs, even like you can scold or you can pet or
How do you?
I will
pick?
never scold a dog.
So
you hold an L2.
Do you have like an honor?
There is.
Like what was it? It was like honor evil or something.
I think it's called the honor system again.
I just don't know how much of that will be like an actual like metric slider thing or just a.
No, it shows it.
You saw.
Yeah, when you hit, I think like something on the D-pad, it shows up at the bottom of the screen.
okay,
It's got like a slider thing.
That's how it was in the first one. It was like a slider.
And as you do more honorable stuff, if you're on that end of the spectrum, like cops and lawful people will be like, "Hey, you're cool. Hey, do you want to help us out?" Like, "Oh,
I heard
hey,
about
we'll
you got
help
a
with-
reputation.
Hey, do you want to do some bounties for us or whatever?" But if you're, like you're all shaggy and dirty and you're an outlaw and everything, like you might be like brought in for like bad guy stuff.
Tell me more about how you pet a dog.
I did pet the dog.
So how do you hold L2?
I held an L2 while I looked at a dog. It said, press this to scold, press this to pet.
Really?
I hit pet. He seemed like a very good dog. But you can also do that with literally every human in the game.
Pet
You
them,
can pet
pet them,
them.
or
You
scold.
can pet them. You
Really-
can pet
really
every
walked
cowboy
into
hat.
that one, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So it's like every. I think they were saying every animal or person will have
can
like
pet.
a focusable thing you can do.
Yeah, they all have
Even like a
schedules.
flying, bird.
What do you do
can
with the
look,
flying bird?
You add it. You look at him, and it adds to your, your library of animals that you keep
there is.
around with
Okay,
you.
taxonomy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing I noticed is that just by nature of the setting, they can do stuff like have every NPC have a schedule and everything and a name and all that stuff. Whereas like something like GTA, where it's so much more populated, it's this giant city or whatever. It's just like you'll go into like the rich area and it's just like populating. It's like, oh, here's all the NPCs like that are kind of like from the rich template or whatever.
This isn't the same area as Red Dead Redemption, right? Like they're in a different like fake state.
I believe it's different, but I don't know that for sure.
So I meant to ask that, but it looks like there are abbreviations for like New Hampshire.
Okay.
No, I
But it's
asked
not that,
That was something
right?
else. It wasn't New Hampshire.
Yeah, it's not. It's something else.
I also wasn't that this was forever ago, so this could very well be like an internet thing that's totally bunk. But I'm pretty sure didn't they have like a leaked like the map of it, and then they like plastered it up next to the original game map, and it seemed like a small corner of it led to like Little Boston or like New Austin, whatever it was called.
Yeah, New Austin.
I remember
New
that
Austin.
was when everyone thought it was going to get revealed at E3 a couple years ago, and that map.
Do you
thing
remember
leaked.
that though?
It
Like
was
it
a
was
while
like
ago.
it seemed like it was connected.
Yeah, it's been a while. I don't remember the specifics of what people
Okay.
thought.
Is it? Does it seem like hot and deserty, or is it? I feel like everyone's always in coats.
There was this really
Winter
snowy
Park, yeah.
area, like in the mountains. And the
Okay.
mountains look incredible.
I mean, they kind of had that in the first one too.
It kind of feels like they might be like targeting more of like a Midwest Western
Okay. I
versus
kinda got
like
that-
a
Like a
Southern
Montana?
Western.
It felt like the Rockies at times.
Yeah.
Like the mountains definitely did.
Okay.
But just a couple examples of like the emergent type stuff and the way you can interact with people. Like I was just walking around this town and I saw there were these two dudes sitting on some steps.
Yeah.
And I held an L2, and you can like greet groups or you can greet a person, depends on like where they're at. And you can say like friendly stuff or you can antagonize. And so I said like a friendly greeting, like, "Hey, how's it going, guys?" And you can have a quick back and forth about like, "Oh, the weather, blah," or whatever. And then I noticed there was some guy just kind of sulking behind them with his arms folded, like leaning against the wall. And I went up and I hit L2 on him and I hit antagonize. And Arthur said something like, "Oh yeah, I guess we're all allowed to have a lazy day or two." Said something like that.
Yeah.
And the dude like got up off the wall and kind of like got in my face. And I just socked him in the face. And he starts running away. And you can just do stuff like, you can aim your gun in the air and shoot like warning shots and
Oh,
stuff like
that's
that.
cool.
So yeah, he's just running off into the forest while I'm just shooting into the air, scaring
Can
the
you
shit
shoot
out
the
of him.
ground and make him dance?
I did not see that. I did
Yeah,
not
but
see
then
that.
they start moonwalking and it gets real weird.
Can you lasso?
There is a lasso. I did not see it in my
Okay.
playtime.
Is there hunting?
Yes.
There's definitely hunting.
Okay.
Speaking of which, so this is my favorite weird emergent thing that happened here. And like this was not a directed part. There was a point where they just kind of gave me the controller and said like, just do what you do.
Oh, that's
and
so great.
It
I'm so
was
jealous.
So I was riding my horse around and I saw a coyote. I saw two of them and I shot him. And I went and like, you got to skin them. And did you skin anything, Jeff?
No.
The skin animation is way more involved. Like you see him ripping the skin off, and, like,
I want
and you
that.
take the pelt and you
I
like
do
put,
want that.
You put it over your shoulder and you go and you drape it across your horse and you can go like sell the pelts and everything.
Does it leave like a wet bloody mark on your shoulder?
I think it might, and like there's a whole clothing thing, and that's a whole other
Can
thing.
you skip the animation if you want to? Because that's actually what kind of bummed me out about the first skinning thing was,
Just
having
seeing
to-
the fucking skinless animal on the ground.
No,
might be.
no.
Well, I feel like I remember when I was grinding out for 100% towards the end. It was a thing of like, I don't need to see this and have his dumb quip or whatever. Like
every single time. It was one of those things of if you can get near a tree or something, sometimes it would bug out and you can try and skip the animation.
I did not see any option to do that.
Boy.
But I skinned the one because it had a good pelt. But the other one, I guess I put too many bullets in, and the pelt, it was like, this pelt
Yeah, you
is
can have like
useless.
a dirty
cool.
pelt.
Yeah, so instead I took the whole corpse of the coyote and I draped it across the back of my horse. And they mentioned to me, like, oh, yeah, you could take the body, like you can sell the pelt to like a fur trader or whatever, but then you could also sell bodies, like carcasses, to butchers in town.
Oh, cool.
So I went to go, I was like, okay, I'll go to the town. There's a nearby town. I'm going to sell it to the butcher. That was my entire plan, and just all this other bullshit happened. So I'm pulling into town, and I hear this woman screaming, and so I'm like, oh, where's that coming from? And then I see it's coming kind of this alley, like the side of this building. And so I get off my horse, I leave the coyote, I run up there, and there's some dude like yelling at this woman and like dunking her head in this trough, like drowning her. And so I pulled my gun out, I aimed it at him, and then I hit like, threaten or antagonize or something like that. Or I was basically just trying to get him the fuck out of there. And he acted like he was going to pull for his gun or something, shot him, killed him. As this was happening, some dude was kind of in the background by some railroad tracks riding a horse, and he saw it. And so you can see this like red eye icon on the radar. So it's like
somebody sees
he's
you.
a witness. So that's the witness, and so he's running off to tell someone.
The cops.
And so it's like, God damn it! Like he was innocent. I don't want to kill this dude, but like I also didn't want to. I just wanted to sell my coyote. I didn't want to get into a whole thing.
So what'd you do with the guy?
I murdered him. So as
Did
he
you
was,
kill the horse too?
I got on my horse. I chased after him, and I shot him dead. And I think I threw his body in some bushes or something.
Put him on the back of your horse.
Did the lady have a little icon?
The lady seemed fine with me shooting that guy.
Okay.
She didn't seem to have much of a problem with that. So I killed the witness, and then it's like, okay, there's still like there were gunshots and everything. Like there's like this red thing on the radar showing that like, okay, people are kind of on the lookout for anyone doing shady shit. And I'm like covered in blood and stuff. And so I'm like, I'm just gonna dip into the saloon and just try to lay low for a second. So I go in and I'm taking shots at the saloon, and then somebody like called me out to the sheriffs. These sheriffs come into the saloon. I shoot them dead.
Nice.
And then I'm like, I need to get the fuck out of here. I just want to get out of the town at this point. And so I see a
Very honorable.
Yes. So I see a door behind the bar, and I'm like, I'm just going to get the fuck out of here. And so I run, but then I see the bartender is ducked behind the counter, and he sees me going behind the counter, and he pulls for his gun. And I'm like, shit, I guess I'm killing a bartender. So I murdered this bartender. I got on my horse, and I just skipped out of town.
So, okay, I have two questions for you.
Yes.
This is one way to play the game.
Yes.
One
Did you have a
is,
different experience, Jeff?
A little bit.
so one, do you know if the town population will repopulate, or is that town now out a bartender?
That I don't know.
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
I don't know.
Two, when you got the coyote body or skin,
Yeah.
does it seem like something that stacks on your horse in a way that you would have multiple coyote bodies on there? Or is it like, did it look like it was one of those things where like, oh, it just disappeared on the back of your
No,
horse?
it's
kind of thing?
visible. So I don't know if there's a limit where it's like, hey, you're already carrying too much for this
What your
horse.
pack limited is basically.
Yeah, and like your horse also has these like saddlebags. Is that the right
Saddlebags.
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's where you can store all your different guns or whatever. So it's like, oh, I'll take this long gun, or I'll take the bow and arrow.
I'm just
for this
wondering if your
mission.
horse has an inventory. If that's gonna be a thing of like,
I think the
It does
horse
seem
definitely.
like
There's definitely something with the weapons for sure.
It seems like they're trying to make it so that like you have to be more mindful of what
Yeah.
you are stacking in there.
There's a lot of systems like there's weapon cleaning. If you find a gun on a dead body, like you look at it and you're like rubbing it down and cleaning it and stuff. If you go through like if you run through
wait, like as a mechanic?
yeah, like,
it's like
look at your
weapon,
gun.
it has weapon degradation apparently.
Oh,
you
wow.
like turn it over and you're cleaning it and stuff.
to polish it.
Yeah, and let's say you like ride through a muddy river or
Wait,
whatever.
wait. I want to describe Vinny's grimace. It seems like now I'm going to read into what I just saw on your face where you're like, oh, that sounds pretty cool.
Oh no.
No, you're upset.
I feel like
He didn't like it.
Yeah,
Oh, you
I
didn't
kind of
like it.
hear weapon cleaning, and part of me is like,
So-
is this going to be a chore, or is this going to be
Or like if
So
I'm using a gun
here's-
and then it gets to like 30%, 20%, oh no, your gun broke kind of thing.
I don't know.
wild.
I don't know if that's where it's
Yeah.
going with that. And I know where you're going too. Abby. We're like, Jesus Christ, I have to fucking clean my goddamn gun. Like,
right? Like, I think there's something very neat and novel about
Right.
it, but I hope that in practice it doesn't start to feel like a slog.
I don't know. Again, like we Dan and I saw a very small part of this game. I think the gun cleaning is like a perfect example of how goddamn serious this game feels.
Yeah.
Where it's like every single thing you have to be mindful of.
Well, so I would say my response to that, and having not played it, or
Yeah,
even
sure.
seen
Tell
that
me
much,
all about the game.
Yeah, if you're telling me that,
Yeah.
my response would be, I'm not coming to this Rockstar Red Dead Wild West game to have a simulator. I want the TV version where nobody puts ammunition in their gun ever,
Right.
or nobody.
Yeah.
Cleans
I don't know if you're
guns.
going to get that.
So I
This ain't
get
Gunsmoke, man.
Yeah.
I get the concern because, like, obviously that was the biggest complaint people had about Breath of the Wild was the breaking weapons, and even going back to, like, I remember my biggest complaint about, like, Snake Eater was that, like, every time I get shot, I don't want to go into a menu and pull the bullets out and put styptic and bandages and stuff. Like, that stuff is cool in concept, but that can be a chore.
I mean, did you see it at all, like manifest in your play?
I mean, I saw it. Well, I did clean the gun and did that stuff, and you can see just like a little tiny like mark up on your stats or whatever as you clean it and things like that.
Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's not the same thing we're all thinking of. The like, oh, it's going to
Right.
break. Or
well, so
something.
you look at this gun and it's like super heavily detailed. Like you can change the grip on it. You can change like the
wow.
That's
leather
what, like,
bit.
mods are
that's
cool, yeah.
like that's sort of where I think they're going
Yeah,
more
I
with
like-
this, where you're like, and it's just like this over the shoulder view of it, where like your character's just like inspecting it and like turning it
neat.
around and like
Could
it
I
looks
also
it looks
be-
pretty cool.
Could I be a dirty cowboy who all has bad, gross guns and
Yeah.
only
Yes.
scolds dogs?
I don't think you'll be
you
as
will get
efficient.
treated differently.
Yeah.
You get
Oh, if you're
treated-
like a gross, stinky man who never shaves?
yeah, if you like walk into like a nice bar or restaurant or something, they will be like, "Oh, yeah, I don't
Oh,
think this
that's
is your type of
cool.
establishment."
I
you
like
know?
that.
But that's what I'm saying with like the mindfulness. Like you can't just like ride into town with your gun out and like people be like, "What the? Does this guy want fucking trouble?"
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
You know,
I feel
like-
like that's not that abnormal.
No,
I
I
like
know,
this
but
last game.
it's more of
like drawn. You
But
mean.
like in
Yeah,
the
like
last
drawn-
game, you could just wander anywhere with a gun out, and as long as you weren't like shooting at people
or
Yeah.
aiming at someone.
Yeah, that's fair.
And oftentimes, when you would shoot, like if one of those guys that was like harassing one of the women at a bar or something, you shoot them. People don't really do anything other than just kind of go like, "Oh, what? Huh? Pointing gun?
Right.
Okay, everything's fine."
It seems like there is a memory to this game. Like I remember at one point, like I punched a guy in the face in one town, and then like later on, like a while later, I went into a hotel and I went to go take a bath because I was actually super duper dirty. And the guy at the front was like, normally he was very wary of me, and he's like, normally I wouldn't allow someone like you, and I know you were causing trouble with that guy across the street earlier, but just don't cause any trouble. Like,
Yeah, they have
remember that I
Twitter. They
punched
have
that guy
Twitter
earlier.
there.
and then you
It's
shot him
weird.
dead.
No, I took a bath and I left.
And
It
then
was
put a
very
shot in the
nice.
bathtub.
Yes, but there is a bunch of really smart stuff. Like I went to a barber. There's like a barber inside a bar, and like you can get your hair done in your facial hair and everything, but you can only go down. It's not like you can go from clean shaven to selecting a beard.
Yeah.
Does it
Right.
grow over time?
I think
Yes,
so.
it grows over time.
I
Is it
read that.
Are those microtransactions? You have to pay for those.
Yeah, I did not see evidence of microtransactions.
Can you
but who
get your
knows?
teeth done at the barber?
Didn't see anything about
That's a
teeth.
shame.
No grills.
Thing. Yeah. But yeah, like clothes.
You have to wait for the grill to glow in.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Jeff. It does seem very specific about this type of stuff in a way that the first one wasn't. And if it's a thing that, hey, you can clean your guns and get this little boost every once in a while, sure, that's great.
Yeah.
I think the thing people are worrying about is just like, oh, God, am I going to have to constantly be
Yeah,
doing this? Which
right.
I did not see
If
evidence
it's
of
it's
that.
like an active reload thing
Yeah.
of like, oh, clean your gun, you get a boost for the next 15 bullets. Like that's fine. I'm way okay with that.
I think it's more like your stats. I could be wrong. on
That's
this, but I
fine.
think your
As
stats
long as the guns aren't deteriorating, them breaking.
are just shattering in your hands.
Yeah. Like, oh, I can't fire this anymore because it's all fouled.
Right.
Like Dan said, while you're cleaning it, there is like a little meter. that starts to go up. I think it's just like the overall functionality of the gun, like
Sure.
the efficacy, maybe.
I don't want to get too worked up over something I have no idea
Yeah, same
what
here.
it is.
And again,
Right.
I did not see like 2 full missions I was playing through, and at no point was I like, why is my gun jamming?
Oh, it's dirty.
I'm more worried about horse inventory.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you have to go up to the horse to do all that. Your horse.
The horse is more like a mobile sort of like
Yeah, it kind of is. And,
chest. Command center.
you have like a bond with the horse, and the more you work on your relationship with the
What
horse,
happens when-
the more you can sort of do expert maneuvering
It
with
is
it.
like Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, and was that not in Red Dead?
Oh, I'm talking about Breath of the Wild.
Oh, okay. It was, and then you can ride on your shield.
Yeah.
Surf down the hill.
Yes.
Was that not in Redemption?
I don't remember.
No,
Originally the-
they had like different horses you could get, and some
Yeah.
were faster than others. And usually it was like this horse is going to be harder to break because it's a fast
Oh, maybe
whatever
that's what it
horse,
is.
and you
Okay.
can only find in a certain area. But once you broke that horse,
You were
once you
fine.
had the thing, it was your horse.
The more you
Until you ran it off
the more
the
you
cliff.
bond with it, the further away you can call it.
Oh, that's
If it dies, that's it.
Is
Wait,
that
so
it?
That's
you
it.
can't call it away like indefinitely, like because I like being in a
You
big
might
open
be able
field.
to.
I can't see anybody. I whistle for a horse. I turn around and it's suddenly right there.
I don't think you can just like spawn. I don't know. All I know is the bigger your bond, the radius in which you're allowed to summon said horse.
You can put a headset
grows.
on the horse after a while. It just gets like a little coming.
And after a while, the horse just starts walking around on 2 feet.
Yeah,
and it's
drinking at the bar.
Shooting guns.
and it's
Yeah,
just,
you marry the
you
horse.
can like learn to rear it.
No,
you
I
know?
don't don't normally let a horse into my bathtub, but
you got some clean teeth.
but you are good looking. That is some grill.
And then they make a 5-season sitcom about the depressed horse.
Yeah.
If your bond is high enough, it can even do like dressage stuff.
Yeah. It was like doing some crazy strafing.
Did you
It's like
see
180-degree skid
yeah,
turns.
it's
and
like you
stuff.
could almost hockey stop with the horse. It's pretty cool.
Did you see a talent tree?
I did not see a
I didn't
skill
see that.
tree. of
I didn't see
sort,
really
no.
any menu stuff.
No, I didn't spend a lot of time. on
Or a
menus.
map.
Did you see any
map?
like thunderstorms or anything?
No, I didn't
Holy
get that.
shit! Like the weather effects are incredible.
There's
That's awesome.
visually, I mean, like Dan said, it's gonna floor you.
Do you know what you were playing on?
I was
PS4.
playing with the PS4 controller.
Pro, I assume.
Yeah,
Presumably.
Yeah.
the HD. I mean, the TV, the HDR on that TV was pretty wild.
Yeah, and just the music and everything. The sound.
What kind of TV are they rocking over there?
It's
I
a
think
big
it was
one.
a Sony.
Are they
Big
going
one.
with the kind of sort of similar kind of dynamic soundtrack to the last one? Because that was
I
the
think
big
so.
thing with that was the way the like instruments would
Right.
layer over top each other as stuff was
It
happening.
feels like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else kind of stand out that you think was unexpected?
Yes.
Okay.
Apparently, you could play this game in first person.
Yes.
Oh, the whole thing.
Full on like the GTA 5 thing.
Yeah. That was a stand. That was like what?
Yep.
Huh.
Is it good first person? Because I like the GTA 5
I didn't do-
first
I di-
person, but there are some aspects of it where you move and it feels like a third person character with a camera kind of at their face.
Yeah,
you know
I
what
loved
I mean?
it. I loved it for walking around the city, but I hated it for engaging in combat or anything else.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that with GTA. I did not use the first person stuff really at all. I didn't use it when I got to play Red Dead. I don't know, but it's an option.
How does it work when you snap to cover?
know.
The first
I didn't see
person?
it.
Yeah.
Not sure about that.
didn't see
no.
that.
Does Arthur have any kind of, what are we calling it? Matrix time, bullet time?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the
red
red
eye.
eye.
He does have the red eye?
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
and how?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's gross.
Anything else that stood out that was unexpected
I think like
or worth mentioning?
I think it is worth mentioning that there's something going on, and again, this is something that they talk about a lot, right? So it's you sort of have to wait and see. But the vibe I'm getting is that the campaign is its own sort of thing, right? But like the side stuff, which I think a lot of games, specifically, I complain about it a lot in Spider-Man, where it's like all the side stuff is like, well, this is clearly side stuff and clearly a chore and clearly kind of mindless. Everything is kind of like, the tide rises. The plan is for the tide to rise in this game, where like everything is sort of on the same level, and I feel like that's what I'm most interested to play. I think that's what's going to be the most interesting thing about
You're
this game.
basically
Is that,
saying the side stuff is on the same.
yeah, it's on the same, because I think a lot of people are going to have so many varying different, experiences with this game because of that, because everything seems like, even in the GTA stuff where you're like, okay, I'm clearly doing a side thing where I clearly have to go and assassinate these people. The stuff here, it's getting to the point where it's all sort of like this even playing field.
That's
and
cool.
And that's something for me, and especially with the notion of like having the focus button for each living creature, and the way you find out information through dialogue sometimes, and like everything sort of leads me to believe that this is going to be a much more kind of one narrative piece as opposed to like, oh, there's a direct path through with the campaign and then all these little
And then you got to
side sort of
go.
things.
What is the one from Red Dead Redemption, which was like the person would be broken down on the side of the road and they'd be like, "Help
like
me,
a
help
kidnapper.
me!" Yeah, and then be like, "Oh no, it was either a kidnapper or a trap." Right? It was always
Right.
like they lead you
Right.
back and it's a trap.
I think the idea, and again, we've played so little of this game, it's tough, but that is what I feel like they're going to be going for this time around, where it's like, all bets are off. Like this is this world. Go here.
Well, this is coming out soon, and they also announced the online stuff,
Right.
Which sounds like they're working. They're using the Red Dead Redemption Online as kind of a base and leaning more into it.
Yeah.
They probably have learned a lot from GTA Online.
And it sounds like anyone who buys the game will have that instant access to the online beta once that goes
Yeah,
live.
it'll be like the GTA 5 model.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't dig too much in. I didn't have time to look at it before this. But is the online launching after the game?
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
November. So
yeah, the
it's gonna
beta is going to be, I think, pretty soon after launch.
Be, yep.
Okay. So I would hope anybody who buys the game gets access to
Yeah, they do.
the thing before November.
I mean, remember in GTA 5, I think online launched a couple weeks later.
Definitely, yeah. But I guess my point is not a separate purchase.
Right. No. If you buy this, you're going to get the beta.
You get the beta.
Yeah.
You get the beta.
This game feels kind of layered in a way that I'm just like a little intimidated by.
Well, apprehensive at it.
Yeah, where it's just like, oh my god, I just spent 4 minutes in this town, and I it's sort of just like there's so much.
It's just daunting.
I think like daunting is sort of almost like a negative kind of thing. I think it's more of just like overwhelming.
It feels like maybe a game where if your natural tendency is to try and complete everything in an open world game, you maybe want to put that a little bit by the wayside and just sort of let the game happen to you.
And I'm so ready for that though. At the same time, where it's like I'm so sick of like a percentage thing,
checklist,
and I just want to have this experience and do it,
experience,
and just see what arises out of it.
That's what I'm talking about.
As much as I liked Spider-Man, I think it's kind of that's the opposite end of the spectrum, where it's like, okay, I go to this research station, I'm going to do the thing, and that's going to be over, and then I'll go do another thing.
Right. And that thing will gray out, and that'll be that.
There's not a lot of variables there at all, whereas like I went to go cash in a coyote, and I wound up with this whole fucking murder thing going on, and I think the possibilities, even the non-scripted ones, are going to be way more present than in probably any open world.
I feel like everyone is going to have plenty of unique stories, like Dan just did.
No, it was similar with Redemption, the first one.
Yeah, totally.
You quote unquote emergent storytelling would happen in weird ways, where you'd be a cougar would come and run you down while you're in the thing, which could sometimes be pretty annoying.
Of course.
And they've had
guess what? The Wild West is annoying.
Yeah, or the Ghost Riders.
Nature's annoying.
Yeah.
I am encouraged by what you guys saw. It sounds fun. I think I'm a little more wait and see with how many of those towns are there, right? How many of these bespoke things are there, and also some of the stuff you said. I'm definitely in a wait and see mode of like, oh boy, as a completionist in games, is inventory management gonna get in the way of some of the stuff? Some of that stuff, though, I loved Redemption, did kind of, as somebody who's trying to get the whole book, get the codex and the bestiary and all that stuff, and the skinning and all that stuff. Making all the materials, crafting. I'm sure there was crafting in this, right? I mean, if you're skinning something, I'm sure you're going to craft.
I mean, the camp is like there's a crafting element.
Yeah, we didn't even touch on the camp stuff.
Oh, that's the whole thing. Yeah,
like the gang has a campsite where like there's all these moving parts there.
I mean, sometimes literally you have to move the camp, don't you?
It's based on where you are in the story. The whole camp will kind of up and move.
Okay.
And you can interact with everyone there. I think there's like 18 to 20 or something like that.
There's
people in the camp.
Did we do heists?
There's the train stuff,
Depends.
right?
What's that?
The's a train heist stuff.
I mean, like online heist. We gotta.
I don't know anything about the online stuff.
We'll check back in 6 years for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I am cautiously optimistic about the online stuff just because of how long and how educational GTA Online probably was.
I am so excited to see their UI when that thing
just
launches.
Like hit the ground running a little bit better.
I hope it is exactly like the GTA Online interface. That's
like
just
horses upside down. And
just like menus that lead you to nowhere, and just like, oh, you got to go out in the single player to change this option, then go back and be like, I don't know.
Are we in different servers now? What happened?
Yeah. No, I hope they have taken so many of those lessons and applied it. Like they have now become fiscally and through experience an online service company. So, they have had plenty of time. They have the resources. I'm very curious to see what a ground up online experience with a from the ground up, not a chewed up and ground up experience from them would look like from Rockstar, who knocks it out of the park on a lot of the single player stuff, but has kind of hacked it together on the online stuff for the most part. So I thought Redemption's online, for better or worse, was serviceable.
I loved it. I played a lot of it.
I thought it was. GTA is the one that always feels like it's been put together with duct tape and Band-Aids.
Well, I think my thing with the GTA Online is it just wasn't like because I played it from the start and it was not as big as it is now. So I just think that they added so much to it and like didn't necessarily accommodate.
Your phone's ringing a lot now in GTA.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
But like it's a similar thing that you load up WoW. And suddenly you're like, what the hell is this game anymore? Why are there motorcycles around?
Yeah.
And the UI and everything looks weird. Anyway, Redemption 2 next month.
October 26th.
Very soon.
Man.
You guys, I assume, are playing a near final build of the game. It's
Probably, at this point,
encouraging to see that nothing stood out as this is a deal breaker or boy.
Oh no,
it's cool.
Not at all. It only made me more excited for this game that I'm
I agree
extremely
with Dan
excited
very
about.
much. My meter went up a notch.
I mean, I bet it's safe to assume. Well, we'll see. I was going to say people who didn't like Redemption probably wouldn't like this, but you never know. Maybe it's a good opportunity. Maybe they fix some stuff that people didn't like about Redemption.
Who wouldn't like Redemption?
Listen.
There are aspects of that game that do not hold up super well over time, but
best game of last generation.
I still think it's a great game.
100%.
Best game of the last of like the
it's no
360 PS3 Wii
It's no Geometry Wars, but it is pretty amazing.
That's a great game. Basically identical games.
Yeah.
I mean, Mass Effect is part of that generation.
That's an okay game. That's a solid 8.
That was like the fourth best game of that generation.
I'm excited, Vinny. You should be excited. I don't get excited about a lot of stuff. You should be excited.
You should getting excited. It's fun.
I'm excited. Yeah, I mean, I want to be excited. You know,
I mean, it's not. It doesn't have hockey in it, so it's harder to get excited for it.
Right. I'm excited that you guys are excited.
Yeah,
I'm very excited.
I'm excited that you're excited that they're excited.
You can be excited about this game. I'm telling you.
Did you not love Red Dead?
I did love Red Dead.
I mean, Vinny.
I really liked Red Dead.
The first one I did like a lot.
Why are you not very excited?
I'm as excited as I am for my love for Red Dead. So I'm hoping to be.
You're looking forward to it.
Yeah, looking forward. Like I'm taking Red Dead. I was very excited for that when it came out.
Sure.
I'm assuming this is going to be more Red Dead. I don't think it's going to. I don't think it's going to. I don't think it's going to break the mold.
There's
on
a little more Red Dead,
but also I'm leaving room to be surprised.
Of course,
I was very surprised. It does feel like a pretty substantial move up in terms of just open world games.
Yeah. Well, let's surprise Vinny.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm pleasantly surprised. There's room for that. I'd rather be pleasantly surprised than disappointed.
Right.
Yeah, of course. That sounds like a better feeling.
Generally, keep my expectations
as you should.
I like being incredibly excited and then incredibly excited again once I'm playing it, and then I justify every bad thing about it because I came into it excited and I wanted to enjoy it.
Great, very professional.
The gamer's way.
Yes, the gamer's way.
Well, all right then.
All right. Speaking of exciting things, there are other things happening in the world aside from Red Dead preview coverage. Preview. Remember that word?
Oh, yeah. I remember preview.
We talk about a million other things. I was going through the news today. I saw articles ranging from, summaries of Red Dead 1. Mm-hmm. I think Polygon had an article that was like,
all the characters.
What about Mad Dog McCree?
Yeah.
Oh, right. That was when I saw that.
I did
laugh.
Mad Dog McCree.
Were there any Sunset Riders ones?
I did not see a Sunset Riders one.
Rising Zan, Samurai Gunman?
I did not see that. And I did not see any Abe. What's Abe's Odyssey one?
Pagoda?
No.
Oh, Pagoda's Odyssey.
Stranger's Wrath.
Stranger's Wrath.
That's a great one.
Boy, the news pages could not get enough just tangential cowboys. I was joking with Dan that he should do a what if Arthur Morgan had a Metal Gear? What would his Metal Gear? And that are you on that?
Am I on that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm working on it. I'm bringing out the old feature writing chops.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm not.
That.
What his Metal Gear name?
He's writing a little one act in the vaudeville tradition.
Yeah. His Metal Gear name?
Yeah, what Metal Gear would he be going against?
Metal Gear...
you got to think of it. It's got to sound good.
It's got to sound like...
God damn, it's a philanthropist! God damn, you got made up... what's another metal...
Shagohod.
God damn, got made a Shagohod! That ain't no deterrent.
A fox die, I'll make a fox die.
Goddamn, son, you got bees coming out your mouth.
That man shooting lightning out of his hands.
Boy, you got so angry you turned the fire.
Now, how did you go and get your hands on my save game? That is not acceptable.
Yeah, I do like Castlevania, thank you very much.
He's just floating there. He's just floating. He's got a mask on. He's just going to float there and read my mind.
Fucking the nano machines again.
I thought we were going to save this bit for in the middle of the discussion.
Why never got a goddamn eye patch?
So you're going to tell me you lost your arm, sewed his hand on your head, and now you're possessed.
Boy, you got a ghost in your arm.
you got
so can you dodge bullets with that little thing on your belt? Do it for you.
You're possessed by a gun spirit.
Dude, there's something there.
I don't know what it is
I
yet.
need to watch. I need to just see this edited somehow.
You got a raven tattoo on your forehead,
and
you think it gives you some sort of magical flying powers?
I like that we're doing everything possible to delay as long as possible actually talking about the game.
That game is so stupid.
Which one?
No, it's just
All of them. Metal Gear.
Video games are dumb as fucking hell, man.
Yeah, Metal Gear's pretty stupid.
No, it's not.
I mean, Arthur Morgan thinks it's pretty
Goddamn,
fucking
war never changes. War's changed.
I don't love bloom on a battlefield. Bullshit.
So you got knives in your shoes.
That robot sound like a goddamn cow to you?
He done shit all over the battlefield. What is that? Is that oil?
Has he got a dick gun?
Oh my fuck. Abby, no? Is this working for you? Is this doing it?
I don't know Metal Gear references.
I got nothing.
How many goddamn clones are there here?
I swear to God, I was fighting a guy who just had a red skull for a face. just a full red skull. Motherfucker's stupidest thing I ever saw.
What
Put a bug in your throat?
He put a bug in your throat, suddenly he's speaking another language.
Still talking about goddamn cheeseburgers.
Okay, that's too in the weeds for me. I don't know what the fuck.
Did you ever learn how to cook an egg right? Let me show you how to make a side-up egg the right way.
That I know.
Mystifying.
Oh, God, my face hurts from smiling. Stop.
Tell me about your anime.
You mean to tell me? You mean to stand there?
Get on the back of my horse and tell me if I'm going to ride off to Alaska and tell me about your anime. What's your real name? What's his name? Joel? David. Anyway, all right.
So, Red Dead Redemption.
Jesus Christ.
Her tattoo just turned into a snake.
All right. Let's lasso this thing and let's rein it in here.
Yeah.
Tell me about the Red Dead.
There's no hee-haws in it.
Okay.
Tell me. All right.
No, I was waiting because Jeff had something he wanted to say about hee-haws.
That's a good show.
We have three people.
Like there's no
as of the time of this recording, we have one person who has finished Red Dead 2.
Yes.
We have two
Wow,
people
good
who
for
are
you,
very
man.
deep into Red Dead 2, which I've heard is a very long game.
Yes, it is.
Alex, why don't you start? Tell us your thoughts on Red Dead. Also, I will say, if you're watching this or listening to this, we're not going to go deep into spoiler territory here, but...
I mean, I will talk about aspects of the story, but I will avoid like any major plot twists or anything like that.
The other thing is we have a very early on impressions you can go watch, which is like the first hour of the opening game if you're just curious what it looks like and some of the stuff in it. Later on in that video, Alex revisits it, talks about stuff later on in the game. We also have a quick look up for that game. We also have
there's a live stream going on as of the time we were recording this.
So there's other stuff going on if you want to fast forward this. Alex, tell me about Red Dead.
Oh, where the hell do I even start? Okay, so the thing you...
1964.
All right, no.
Lyndon B. Johnson.
Bless F on time till replay.
Order, I do say order.
President got an octopus suit.
Order on the
And a
podcast.
sword.
No more of this. No more tomfoolery. No more mucking about.
He's surfing a Harrier.
Well, he sold me this game. I thought I was playing as John Marston.
I'm just going to go. I'm just going to go. You guys can do this show. I'll go do a different show somewhere else. How about that?
You want to do like a side cast where we just
Where we actually talk about the fucking video game? I don't know. Maybe.
left channel, right channel.
Why am I even on this show? All right.
This is almost unfair. We're not even delaying for an ad or
No, just go.
All right. So the thing you will inevitably see people talking the most about this game is just the insane scope and scale of the thing. This is, there's been a lot of loose talk about, this being a giant undertaking, a massive open world, tons and tons of stuff to do. And none of those descriptions are inaccurate. Like, it is, as an open world game, the machinery of it is intricate and enormous in a way that few other games I have played quite measure up.
I mean, there are like 5+ hours that feel like tutorial kind of, where it's like, okay, I'm still meeting people in the camp. Okay, I'm learning how this thing works. Okay, here's another system. Oh boy, here's another system. Like, it takes a long time to feel like, okay, am I free? Can I just go do the thing now?
It takes a long time to set that stuff up, but it also just kind of takes a long time to do everything. And some of that, is very much by design. It is a methodically designed game.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I almost think there's a portion and I can't really confirm this, but there feels like a portion in the first 30 to 45 minutes of that game where
certain things take longer than they do later on, because like almost opening chests and like looking at stuff feels, for whatever reason.
I think some of that is because the opening of the game takes place in the mountains. Well, it's very snowy. Like everyone's kind of trudging through like knee deep snow.
But I think I know what Jeff's talking about though, because there is a part where you go into like a cabin and you're opening stuff up, and I think it's because you're not used to it at that point that's when it all hits you that like open this drawer.
There's an animation for everything.
Open that drawer. Grab it. Like if you open up drawers and there's like 4 things in there, it's like each individual animation of like here's this canned corn,
here's this comb,
here's thing of gin.
Yeah. Like the thing, one of the big things people talked about when it came to sort of the revelations about crunch and labor on this game is that the amount of work that supposedly went into that. Like, you can see the evidence of that in just about everything you do.
Yeah.
The animation team alone, I cannot even imagine the amount of work they put into this, because everything has its own little animation, its own distinct flavor and feel to it in a way that other games would either just try to obscure to get you to the next bit, or would rush through to try and make sure that you're not getting bored or you're getting antsy while you are playing.
Sorry, Dan, go ahead.
I was going to say every single character, if you just like, especially like main character, if you watch, Arthur walking next to Dutch, walking next to Marston, every character has their own like unique stride,
their own
and
swagger, so to speak.
It's incredible.
So on one hand, that sounds amazing in the kind of bespoke nature of every little thing. On the other hand, does it get with all of those animations? With a real life simulation of going through drawers and picking out stuff instead of a menu, does that get in the way, or does it take too long?
It's one of those things where early on I was definitely mashing buttons more, because especially coming off something like Assassin's Creed, where everything is like a quick triangle press, loot, move on. Like
not quick. Sometimes you gotta hold it down.
I'm just saying comparatively, like it is brisk compared to what they are doing here. And early on, it took very much some getting used to. I think that by the time I kind of got more into the open world and I was more just kind of like wandering around doing stuff kind of at my own pace, I stopped trying to fight that. I kind of just decided, okay, I'm just going to move at the pace the game clearly wants me to. So like when I'm out in the open, I would kind of run around. I would still, I would definitely be mashing on the X button to kind of sprint here and there. But anytime I was in a town, I mostly just kind of moseyed my way through. It
didn't bother you?
Well, no, it didn't really bother me. And on top of that, like it's funny a few times when you accidentally Kramer your way through a saloon door because you were hitting run to go in there, and everyone just immediately looks around like, what the fuck is this guy's problem? But, after a while, I was like, you know what? I kind of want to just sort of, I want to vibe with what the game is trying to do, and I got very used to that pretty quickly.
You kind of have to learn how to like merge into it. You know what I mean?
I'll second that you get used to it. Like the first time you return to your camp with like, a deer carcass over your horse or something, it feels like you're going through molasses, because it's like, all right, I'm going to hitch my horse, I get off, I'm going to put the carcass on my shoulder, and I'm in camp, so I can't run, and I've got this heavy thing, so I'm going to slowly walk over to Pearson and donate it. And now, I'm pretty damn far into it. I'm just used to it, so you just kind of know what you're getting into at this point.
Like the thing they clearly know they have is an incredible vibe and atmosphere. And a big part of that atmosphere is just sort of like drinking in everything around you. When you're walking from place to place, like when you're going through that animation of like putting stuff on the horse, there's like light and mist coming through the trees. There's the rustle of animals in the background. There's the score, which Woody Johnson did the score for this game, and it is fantastic, pretty much from top to bottom, like both from like lyrical composition to just like the background sort of like noodles of guitars and whatnot.
So
like
stuff people are playing or listening to at the camp, like Dutch has this record player. And
the vibes of it, like it goes with that kind of like slow pouring pace.
Okay, so I'm all on board for that stuff. Do you have to do that? Do you have to see that same animation a million times to accomplish tasks that are in the game?
Yes.
Everything.
Hunting, skinning, all that. Like there are animals that when you skin, there are like 3 or 4 crossfades during the skinning animation.
Like the biggest ones,
Yeah, like a bison or an alligator or something. It's like if you kill one of those, it's like, well, okay, I'm going to hold in triangle and take a bite of a sandwich.
Do you feel like you are? Is there a requirement to do that stuff to progress a meter, fill a meter up, where it's like
to do the things to do, like what Alex I think is trying to convey is that everything has this pace to it, because it's all about this sort of like faucet dripping, like real slow, lethargic.
Yeah, the slow trickle of a stream.
Yeah,
you know, like
guess
that's
what?
the vibe.
Life in 1899 was this fucking slow.
Yeah.
Does it feel deliberate because of that, or does it feel like a choice that's more meant to pad it out? Like, does it feel like a narrative?
It is 100%
deliberate. Like, does it add to the narrative they're telling?
I think so.
The thing I will say is that, you know, one of the things I criticized Assassin's Creed Odyssey for, a game that is very similar in length and scope, is that a lot of it felt like padding. It felt like they had about 40 hours of material, and they're like, how can we double that?
Right.
Whereas this, there are missions and aspects of the story and pieces that I'm like, they didn't need this. This wasn't great. But they are much lower in number comparatively. Like, even the little small interactions, the little bits where they aren't even part of a quest line so much as they are just a guy on the side of the road that you need to help, like, they still feel like they're short enough to where I don't feel like I'm involved in something I don't want to do for very long. And they're at the same time, like, they don't feel like chaff. Like, because, you know, one of the big things in this game is the idea that the entire world is this big clockwork machine. It is, everything is sort of tied to each other. Everything you do possibly has some sort of consequence down the road. And it can be as simple as, like, helping a guy on the side of the road, and then, like, 35 hours later, you run into him in a town, and he gives you an item or gives you a free gun or something. Or it could be, you know, like an actual, like, moral choice that you make as part of the larger quest line, which, you know, some of that stuff does seem to kind of pay off in the end.
How often do you see repeats of those? Because I remember in the first game, it'd be this similar kind of loop of, like, oh, women on the side of the road trying to get you to help, and then it's, like, bandits who are going to ambush you or whatever it is.
There are repeats of ideas, but they are never executed the exact same way.
I've had a couple where it's like, oh, the snake bit me. Can you please suck the venom out? I've had that happen a couple times.
So that happened to me. There's one that repeated on me, I think, once or twice. I'm not sure if that's because I accidentally didn't deliver the person the way they were supposed to the first time around, or if it was a bug. I don't know. But it feels like the number of times I saw, like, a repeated version of a quest, it was only when I didn't engage with it the first time around. Like, I would see the setup happen again somewhere else.
Right, you didn't essentially, like, delete it.
Yeah.
All
right.
I feel like sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're going to finish that thought. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, the clockwork stuff works so well that it does make me think about the consequences of things more than I normally would in an open world game. Like, if I went by a shack at one point and I needed some money or something, or I just wanted to rob the guy. So he comes out on his front porch, and, you know, I'm trying to, like, aim my gun at him and stuff and just be like, hey, give me some money. And he pulls out a gun and starts shooting at me, and so I have to kill the dude. And it normally, in even previous Rockstar games, I'd be like, all right, that guy's dead, I'll go loot the house or whatever. But here it has me wondering, like, oh, I wonder if did I just get rid of a potential, like, side quest, or I wonder if something happens with this guy at some point. I hope I didn't just, like,
you broke the
it feels like things do have
and
consequence.
I will say that the number of NPCs that you actually end up doing stuff with is probably relatively small in the grand scheme of things. There are lots of people that, you know, that are essentially just there to either say hello to or rob. You know, like they don't necessarily have, like, a big factor in the story down the road. But, you know, I mean, the main thing. Sorry, what did you say before? It was that.
Oh, he was saying that, like,
I killed some guy.
He's
and
worried that he's somehow eliminating that
Right, yeah.
opportunity.
I hope that was some random stranger.
Yeah, but that's also kind of the moral center of this game, and sort of like what it's hitching its entire plot on is this notion that, you know, you might be, you know, part of a gang. You're definitely someone that, you know, robs people, that does terrible shit on a general, pretty day-to-day basis. But at the same time, the whole notion of the Dutch Vanderlyn gang is that they are supposed to have some kind of moral code. The idea that they don't just go around sticking up random, you know, innocent bystanders.
Right.
Their main thing is that they, you know, they mostly go after other rustlers, other outlaws.
They verbalize that.
Yeah, many times over.
Yeah.
And there's more subtle things, too, where you can pick up newspapers that refer to, like, the thing that happened before the game starts, where it's like, oh, it was told that they robbed this thing and gave the money to the poor or something like that. Like,
and the thing, you know, is that it doesn't... Sorry, I'll get to you in a second, Vinny. I just wanted to finish this point. Is that, you know, it's not just lip service. Like, they really do kind of hammer that home throughout the game. Like, there are certain members of your gang that are very opposed to doing anything that sort of is, like, outside the bounds of, you know, what is established as okay, and others that are a little more malleable. And, you know, the way that sort of shifts throughout the game is, like, a big thing the plot hitches on.
Let's talk about what you're doing in the game.
Yes.
So you are Arthur Morgan.
Yes. You were the right-hand man, essentially, to Dutch Vanderlyn.
Which is the antagonist, or I should say protagonist, John Marston's former gang from Red Dead Redemption 1.
And John Marston is in this game.
Kind of painted as an antagonist in Red Dead Redemption 1, the gang, as a bunch of bad people. You are now prequel to that, Arthur Morgan. You are part of this gang. They are on the run from something. I'm just going to say what I know, so you can't possibly spoil it. They're on the run from something when the game starts. They're making their way across this great land of ours, and they're setting up camps along the way. It seems like you have to help maintain those camps and to provide or at least to help support that. How am I doing that? What is Arthur's mission here?
So the thing they don't do a great job of explaining early on is exactly how all that camp stuff works. It's kind of implied that like, hey, you'll go out hunting and you'll bring stuff back, and you have this box that you need to feed money into so that you can buy supplies and upgrades for the camp. What you realize eventually is that really all you have to do is buy those upgrades. And once you do, you just start making sure that the resources, like there's a ticker that kind of says, it's whether it's gold, it's white, or it's red. It's red, it means that they're low, so you just buy more of them. And once you have all the upgrades, like the camp is essentially pretty self-sustaining. You just have you don't have to spend a lot of time. Like one of the things, we're talking about like the hunting and the skinning and all that, so like the pace of all that stuff. After a while, I just stopped hunting because the main thing you want to hunt for is upgrades. Like you can buy
camp.
Well, no. That's the thing is that there are upgrades for the camp, but they're mostly just like, hey, you can get a blanket for this thing as long as you hunt for this pelt. You have these pelts, and you can add that kind of stuff to it.
And what would that get the camp?
It's just cosmetic.
It just makes it look different. It makes it. I think it raises the mood of the camp a little bit when you add those things.
They're like, we got this bear rug now. Life is good.
But it's also like your gun belt or your holster, like all that kind of stuff.
Does that get you like a quicker draw or more power? Or
it seems like there are upgrades attached to that stuff, but like they also aren't that important.
It's also it's not explained that well because you're talking about the stuff at the trapper. Once you get certain stuff, and it'll say like, oh, here's the marksman bandolier or whatever, and you won't really know like, does this give me a bonus? But then if you go into the compendium and the equipment, and then you hover over it, you'll see that like, oh, this adds 25% to my whatever.
Yeah, like it's obscure about the way that it meets out that information, which I think is a little bit of a bummer, but also kind of makes sense in the scheme of how Rockstar tends to do these sorts of things.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense because ultimately they kind of don't matter.
They don't.
And that was the thing. Like when I was first presented with this whole like you have to babysit this camp and like make sure it all is running smoothly.
You mean when they were tutorialized?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like Alex said, you really don't.
That's good to hear.
Like
and maybe that's a little bit of a letdown for some people who are expecting to have this other set of plates that they need to keep spinning. But for me, it was just like this thing that the game will force you to check back in there often enough where you don't need to babysit.
Like the one thing that Rockstar never does particularly well is build economies in their own games. Like Red Dead's original economy made no fucking sense, and it barely was something you had to engage with because you would get enough guns just through missions and other things to not necessarily have to worry about it. Like, unless you wanted to go buy like those maps or whatever, like there really wasn't a whole lot of reason to go around buying stuff except for like very basic health items. This is better. Like there's more to do with it, but it also feels not necessarily all that important in a lot of ways. Like, because again, you still get a lot of guns just by kind of doing missions and engaging with the world. You can buy looting people. Like you can buy again like health upgrades and things like that, but it's not terribly important. What is more important, I think, and I think the thing that the camp aspect of the game does incredibly well is that it really does a lot of work to endear your gang and those personalities to the player. Like, there's a ton of time I just spent in that game not doing anything. Like just sitting in the camp at a campfire, listening to various members of the gang relay stories, sing songs, talk about what they're worried about, and it's elaborate in a way that
it's theater.
The NPC dialogue so rarely tends to be in games outside of like missions and stories.
Yeah, normally if someone is like calling you over in an open world game, they are giving you a mission or something, and that definitely happens in this. But there are plenty of times where it's just like, "Hey, Arthur, sit down next to me. You want to talk?" And it doesn't trigger a mission or anything. It doesn't give you any bonus. It's just a thing to get to know these people.
Yeah,
and I think it's. The coolest thing about the camp to me is kind of having this home base to return to instead of just feeling like you're just this thing, right, you're just buying property across the West, and then I'm just going to sleep in this hotel room because it happens to be nearest to where I am. Right, it's this feeling of, even though the camp does move, if I'm out hunting for a while, which I've actually done a ton of hunting, and I'm getting really deep into the camp upgrade stuff and everything, if I'm out there for a while and I've got a bunch of pelts, it's like, oh, I got to go home.
And I have to go home and go to bed.
Yeah,
I got to go to bed.
I got to catch up with, all these people that I know.
Go to bed and
it was a game where I used the sleep mechanic specifically because I wanted to reset those days. Like, totally. I wanted to get up in the morning, drink a little coffee, talk to a couple of folks, and then get out there on my Old West adventure.
Eat some stew.
Weird how it made me go to sleep.
So it seemed like, Alex, from what I watched you play, during the quick look and the 27 other videos we've done, is the camp seems organic in a way that maybe something like, just because we're doing these videos now, the Normandy doesn't. It doesn't feel like people at a post you walk up to and then push A.
Right, they're not always standing in the same place, just waiting for the next dialogue
to get their canned dialogue, right?
Swinging their pocket watch. And just
like I saw you walk up to scenes happening and then engage in those scenes, right?
Yeah.
Or things would be happening that you chose to participate in.
And there will be times when like there are mission objectives in the camp, and you'll walk up and you're like, oh, hey, this, Joseph Trelawney wants to talk to you. So you walk up and you talk to Trelawney, and you find out that he just wants to say goodbye, and then someone else comes in with a completely different mission that had nothing to do with that character.
That seems neat. So you open the door to this by talking about the camp stuff, right?
Yeah.
So systems in this game. There's
so many.
So
the hunting system alone. Yeah. You're dealing with.
Well, can we start with the character Arthur's health, Deadeye,
health, Deadeye, and stamina. So those are the three things you are maintaining with Arthur throughout the game. There is a core to each of those systems, which is essentially your health or like how much of a thing you have, and then there is a meter that goes around each of those circles that is essentially like, this is how much you are fortified on top of that.
My understanding was the core dictates how quickly those recharge.
That is, but the thing is, if you run out of like for instance with health, if you run out of the circle of health, no, you don't. But then, then it starts killing your core as soon as that thing drains.
And that's how the cores. Well, the core can also lower through other things. It doesn't just have to drain the fortification.
Okay, so is it okay? I'm going to use a video game analogy here.
By all
correct
means.
me if I'm wrong. Is it basically shields and health? Is it like if you lose your shields on the outside?
It's close to that, but it's not exactly that.
Because the core is this sort of like, it's like this always adjusting dynamic kind of thing.
You get more health.
Here's the quick frame I would use.
No, because it's not. Because it's like certain things will improve the core and certain things will improve
like
the outer level.
Yeah, so like this, what I would say is food and food stuffs generally affect the cores, whereas tonics and health potions and whatnot will affect the circle.
They're a Band-Aid, basically.
Okay, more substantial stuff on the core.
And it's a weird thing to manage and balance. Like, it doesn't always feel like you know exactly why one thing is draining one thing or another. Like, it's a little, it's again obscure kind of in that way.
And you have to do stuff where it's like, okay, I'll drink this gin, which will help my Deadeye, but it lowers my stamina. So since I drink the gin, I need to eat a peach or something to get my stamina up. Or this thing will damage my core, but it'll fortify the meter for a little bit. So it's kind of a temporary good thing.
That's one of the aspects of the game that I sort of struggle with.
Yeah,
just kind of deciding if I like it or not. I think
I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it, but it does seem to add a bit of busy work to something that maybe doesn't absolutely need it.
It just adds a layer that I think it just isn't necessarily super clear to a player, even like 10 or 20 hours in. It just feels like I don't know exactly why this is doing this and not this.
It just seems like they're adding this, and it's like, okay, it's just it's a second dimension to those vital, metrics, and you're like, all right. Like Deadeye, I love to use Deadeye because it's so fucking cool and a lot of fun to use.
That's the slowdown time.
Smoking cigars. That's all I gotta do is smoke goddamn cigars all the time.
Well, no, you can chop wood in the camp. You can drink a lot of coffee. That'll help.
But gotta go back to
chopping
camp.
wood gets your Deadeye up?
Yeah, because you have to be precise when you're chopping the wood.
It doesn't get your Deadeye up?
Oh, it gets my Deadeye up.
You gotta, you gotta. No, I'm talking about wood.
Oh, I know.
Oh, God damn it.
Anyway. Like,
You're making jokes about wood
it's just
and a Metal Gear?
It's just strange, like, you
what?
just constantly
I don't know.
You're right, like, the drinks, the tonics and all that seems to give you, like, the quick pick-me-up.
Yes.
Whereas a cigar or a pack of cigarettes will really fortify your core.
You want to eat the cooked meat before you go into battle, and then you want to drink the tonic when you're in battle.
Yeah, when you're about to die, you want a quick fix.
Yeah.
All right. So,
which I guess when you explain it like that, it makes a little.
We got the meters. We got the. All right. I understand what would happen if you ran out of a health meter. You would die.
Yes.
Yeah.
What happens if you run out of a stamina meter?
You kind of stop being able to move very well for a little bit.
He just bends over and starts spinning up a little bit.
He's not having a good time.
No, I've never seen him do that.
Which, by the way, your horse has cores too.
Yes.
So if your horse stamina core gets too low, it'll buck you off.
Yeah.
So you do have to feed it oat cakes and shit.
Okay, so
you have to feed your horse. You have to brush your horse. You have to love your horse.
Arthur has a health, stamina, Deadeye, and then the horse has
health and stamina.
Health and stamina. Okay, no Deadeye for the horse.
No, the horse is not shooting any guns yet.
Say it with me.
Wait till the modders get a hold of it.
Horse cores.
Horse cores.
A horse, nothing but a horse of cores.
And so.
I did name my horse Mr. Ed, by the way. I did that.
How
It was a
many horses
woman.
did
It
you
didn't
have?
matter. My first horse was very cheap and small.
Yeah, me too.
Very
small. Like people making
small.
fun of me.
Yeah,
Because
people
I'm
were making fun of my
small
tiny
by
Really?
horse.
That's
nice
amazing.
horse, nerd.
It was a $15 horse, and then later on, I bought a $300 horse.
There you go. Treat yourself.
How many hands high was your
Yeah.
horse?
Not very many.
All I know is
trim
like
the frog?
my horse was so small in the beginning, I would like ride alongside someone and just be staring at the balls of the
Yeah.
horse next to me because of how
that's a
short
choice.
I was.
All right, so we
got the horse stuff.
We covered the meters. The horse stuff, you also have a bond with your horse.
Yes.
Wait, Dan, what'd you name your horse?
My first one's Barnaby, and my current one is Oats with an E, like Hall & Oates.
Oh, that's nice.
So I don't want to go through every system. I want to go through the main health system, but the other systems, bond
Yes.
with the horse, you have, we did the camp system.
There's the hunting, which has many different layers to it.
Yeah, the hunting's
grow
worth
a
talking
beard.
about because there is this sort of system of tracking and scents and
Like you want to like there's like things you can buy that will mask your own
Yeah.
scent while you were hunting like legendary animals.
And how to get a perfect pelt you got to find a 3-star one, and then you have to show the info after studying it that says, "Oh, use the varmint rifle on this thing and get a headshot."
And
got
so there's
clean
a bit,
kill. Yeah,
You
clean
gotta
kill.
get, everybody knows that. So you got to get you got a bit of a hunter's vision, right, for some of that
Yeah,
stuff.
Yes.
it's called Eagle Eye.
Eagle
I
Eye.
think, yeah.
All right. So then there's the hunting stuff, but then there's also upgrading. There's upgrading some of your stuff just by doing it. Is that right?
So
Yeah,
your
stamina
stats,
and
yeah,
stuff.
like your stamina, your health, your Deadeye, that always just upgrades by experience.
And did you figure out when you were playing Alex? You played the most here. Did you find times where you're like, well, I've got to keep using this? Like, are you jumping like in what's it called?
I never
Yeah,
thought
Oblivion.
about it.
Okay.
I
Also
never
happened.
ever thought
You
about it.
can get stuff where it's like there are certain items like ginseng tea, and
Or
it
like
says
an
if you
elixir.
drink this, you'll
Yeah.
just get experience.
Yeah. So like I would use that stuff when I would find it, and
Sure.
I would, but like I never sat there thinking about, oh man, if only my Deadeye was level 7 instead
Yeah.
of level 6. Like I never had
Like,
that
you just gotta
thought.
keep
It's
popping
another kind of
Deadeye.
thing that just maybe just is needless. Like it just pops up and you're sort of stoked about it. You're like, oh, sick.
Well,
Oh,
it
more
feels
energy.
like they went very far out of their way to make character progression like not a big factor of the game.
concern,
Like there's no
yeah.
skill tree, you know, there's none of that. But at the same time, they probably felt like they had to have something in there. So that is their way usually of doing that stuff. Like with GTA, you know, you
Yeah.
build up your stamina or whatever just by running around and shit.
Well, the more traditional way of upgrading is you can get all of your guns customized. So
Yes,
you can
there
add
is
scopes
that.
to it. You can add rifling. You can do all sorts of
But
stuff.
that's not going to get your stamina up, is it?
No.
That's not like Arthur. Arthur
Yeah.
happens just kind of in the background as you're doing shit. Guns, you go to the gunsmith.
Yes.
You pay to get shit done.
Okay.
Yes.
Systems. Okay. And then I assume throughout the world of Red Dead 2, there's poker. I saw a bath mini game. There
Hit
are
circle to scrub right leg.
So just to kind of lay it out, there's poker, there's blackjack, there's
Dominoes.
the
The
dominoes,
hand
there's
knife
the
thing?
handy knifey,
Fillet of fish thing.
Handy
yeah.
knifey, yeah.
There's, you know, like you said, you go into the hotels, you can take a bath. There's a whole like sub thing in there with that.
Chopping wood.
There's, you know, the shops, the gun shops. Like there's any number of different businesses you can peruse.
Okay, tell me about. Okay, that's all a bunch of fun stuff. How about? I saw you ride a boat. That was fun.
Fishing.
What is
Fishing's in there.
what is the final story here with keeping your gun clean, keeping your cowboy clean, keeping your horse?
It's a
clean?
minor thing. You just want to make sure you have gun oil on you on a regular basis.
What
Every
happens
once
if
in
you
a-
don't?
Well, if you
Or
don't,
you
like
clean it.
the guns start becoming less effective once they're dirty and in less good
But as
condition.
far as I
It's
can
a
tell, they won't break.
No.
No, it's a very slight stat hit. And also, if you don't want to do the whole thing, or if you don't have gun oil, you can go to a gunsmith and pay like 67 cents, and they'll just like clean it instantly for
They
you.
give you the
Yeah.
full
Okay.
job.
So, okay. And then the other thing that you mentioned to me, I don't know if we got this on a recording somewhere, I think we did, is that you can also kind of GTA style, or GTA 5, hold as many guns as you want, and then when you get off your horse is when you decide your loadout.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
From your horse, you can have access to any gun that you own. But once you are off the horse, you essentially have access to 2 pistols and 2 ranged weapons.
Or one-handed things, so like a sawed-off shotgun
Yeah,
goes
yeah.
into the pistol.
They're all just inside the horse.
You know, that horse is hollow inside.
It's kind of disturbing. He just does a little bit of misdirection and pulls out a long ass sniper rifle from your
camera cuts
horse's
away.
abdomen, and it's just like, oh, let me just slide that bastard right out there.
So,
It's
but
kinda
if you
gross.
lose your horse, you do not lose your inventory.
Correct.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in your saddle.
But you can have a horse die, and that's the end of that.
Oh,
horse.
yeah.
Yep.
And I have.
Me too, thanks to a bug.
So I never lost a horse in the context of my open world playing. In fact, I think I had like 3 or 4 staved up at a stable at one point. But yeah, basically, like once a horse dies and you are not able to revive it for whatever reason, whether it be through
CPR
misadventure or computer misadventure, that horse is gone.
Okay, so this game, I know it leans a little bit more into you said this, and I love it. They're going to make you do that.
Mm-hmm.
If you fast travel, can I call my horse?
Yeah, the horse will be there when.
Okay, so there is some magic.
That
on
is
the
the- that is-
horse. We lost.
Who lost my mic?
Okay,
Yeah, all right. Dan's fucked someone's
That
stuff.
is the one thing, as realistic and as much of a cowboy-ass simulator this game is, there are certain things that will always just be video gamey.
Do you have to
Well, I
do?
say that, but in terms of like, you do that in that context. A lot of times you'll see your horse following behind wherever you go. Like if you take a train somewhere, you can sometimes see the horse following you. If you are on a horse
That's how
cart,
they get your bags there.
if you are on a horse cart and you are away from your horse, you can just whistle and the horse will follow you as you
But the
go
horse
along.
is running next to a train?
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Can
I've
do
stood
that.
on top of a train and watched my horse run.
Yeah.
next to me.
It's
pretty funny.
Also, there's a really funny thing I saw where you can do the cinematic mode, where if you're doing a long ride to a thing, which happens a lot,
Yes,
where it's like
a
a long
lot.
ride,
Talk about this,
and you're
yeah.
just talking to someone or whatever, you can hold in the trackpad, and it goes into this very kind of rock star like cinematic view. Where
And occasionally it will go into a full-on musical montage, which is, obviously very plot-critical stuff where they do that.
Yes.
But but they do that multiple times.
But you're supposed to be able to hold in X, and it's supposed to kind of follow the path you're
Autopilot,
supposed to
yeah.
go on. And 9 times out of 10, that works perfectly.
Yeah.
But there was one time I was playing last night, and I was just, riding and talking and just watching this thing, holding in X. And there's a stagecoach, and my horse just went full speed into the back of it, just fell over. My body flies off and hits the back of the stagecoach. It's like,
people
all right,
stop-
thanks, autopathing.
Have you had situations where they kind of God of War, and I want to say GTA actually did this, where if you interrupt a conversation, they'll be like,
Totally.
I'll get back
Yes,
to that in a
same
second.
thing.
Yes,
They
they
do
do
that.
that. Very,
neat.
and it's it's as seamless as any other game that has done that well.
And that was a GTA 5 thing too.
Yeah, yeah, they had that.
No, I've collected these now. I have 2 of them are in the video we have on CNET, where just half a dozen freaking cinematic mode, instant horse into a tree.
Yep.
Where
And those horse crashes are jarring.
yeah.
When you hit like
They're
a branch
scary.
or a rock or something.
There's something about a horse falling down that
yeah.
is
Oh,
upsetting.
Horses are so scary.
And I never felt
soul-wrenching.
bad for Arthur. I always instantly felt bad for the
'cause
horse.
The horse is like, oh Jesus!
Well, like
oh.
a horse is like 8,000 pounds
Yeah.
on the top, and then like spindly legs, and just watching those things all like
Crumble.
straws
It's not
underneath.
great.
But at the same time, I forget who I said this, but like you are controlling the person. You are not controlling the horse. Like the way
pulling the
that
reins.
the mechanics feel is very much like you are directing a thing that will sort of has a degree of will of its own. Right. As long as you are directing it, it will do what you want. But so if you direct it slightly wrong in the wrong way, it will all go horribly awry.
I had this one moment where a lot of times you'll see like smoke on the horizon, and that's a sign that like, oh, there's a little like bandit camp or something here. So I went there, killed him, and I was looting it. And I was like, where's my horse at? And I whistled for it, looked on the radar, I didn't see it. I whistled again. A couple seconds go by. All of a sudden I just hear shrieking, like horrible animal shrieking, and I turn around and my horse had like weirdly warped into a campfire and was laying on the ground on fire.
No.
Just like,
It does not like that.
You're a monster. Did it survive?
yeah, I had to pour fucking horse reviver on it or whatever.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny though.
All right, so we talked about the systems for Arthur, the horse fire.
Horse fire is real good.
You
in
in a
this
boat.
game.
Love yourself
Running
a
around's real
horse
solid.
The runaround seems great.
Yeah.
The kind of you're going to do that. They're going to make you do that.
Yeah.
The thing I really liked, I will mention here in the kind of that cowboy simulator is when we saw this in the quick look. When you go to get a haircut, you have to grow it out first. You can't just
like
you
real
can't make
life.
it long.
You can only cut down.
which I think is neat.
It's just a little touch.
Real incentive to just keep it growing. I think.
Oh,
I've got a huge beard. Yeah.
I didn't do a huge beard, but the mustache. Oh God, the mustache I grew. It is jungle-like in its thickness.
Do we know if there is the upper limit on this, or is if you
There is there's a 1 to 10 scale for hair growth.
there is.
I think by the end of the game I got my mustache up to 9.
Damn, dude, I'm gonna get some fucking 10 mutton chops.
So when this PC version ever comes out, I hope somebody is able to
I
mod
hope
that
it- I
file
hope
to
it.
put it 99.
I want to look like Cousin It by the end of that thing.
Playing this game got me thinking like, oh, I just really hope this is somehow,
willed into PC existence
with those new ray tracing cards.
Just something
very pretty.
I mean,
it is a very pretty.
It is unbelievable.
It is a very pretty game.
Yeah. You played on the Pro, Dan. You played on the Pro. You played on the Pro. So we don't know how this is running on the.
The Digital Foundry. Yeah, there's a thing out today. They said that the Xbox One X version might be the best looking, and that's not necessarily surprising given what we know about the system differences between.
It's a powerhouse.
But I will say that the PS4 Pro version looks great.
Yes. Did it make your Pro sound like it was melting?
Here and there.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
So was it like I'll just read it. Just said Digital Foundry at it, right?
Yeah.
I don't need to go over it here.
Yeah.
How many teraflops?
A few.
Okay, good. All right, systems, Morgan, story stuff.
We haven't actually talked about the story stuff at all, really.
Yeah, well, I don't want to get too deep into it.
I can give you the overview without necessarily spoiling it.
Feels good.
Yeah, is it
good?
Do you like it or not? Is it engaging for 60 plus hours?
I mean, yes. I think overall I like it a lot. I think the vast majority of the material works. It is uneven. There are definitely some low points in the story, not necessarily in like a really awful way, the way sometimes, Rockstar brand cynical writing can kind of take over. Like, this is not a particularly cynical game in the way that like a GTA is. It has it cares much more about its characters than, the GTA style of satire. Like it believes in them at the very least as people and sort of like, wants you to like them or care about them. Where it, I think, sometimes falls apart or has problems is where, Rockstar generally has a hard time, which is, they want to hammer their themes home real hard. And sometimes the way they go about that is not always enjoyable or fun.
A little ham-fisted.
Well, it's ham-fisted, and also, one of the quest lines in the storyline, which I won't get too deep into here, but like, there's a whole subplot involving an indigenous tribal chief who you are, essentially tasked with trying to help as his son sort of wants to engage in a conflict with a very oppressive military crew that has sort of taken over near their reservation. And it's one of those storylines that, like, I can see them trying for something, but it's just so steeped in, like, cliche and awkwardness that it feels like... When I was Waypoint did a thing on the original Red Dead recently, a 101 series, and Rob Zacny had a very good point about the way that indigenous people were treated in the first game, which is very much as a cudgel to beat up the American dream. Like, sort of talking about the way that indigenous people are treated and the horrors of that, and the fact that the game barely acknowledges them for the most part, and just kind of, just says, oh yeah, no, we screwed them over real bad. Anyway, this is trying to do more with that. But it also just it doesn't feel very good, like it feels like they are just kind of going for some like weird white savior, like Last Samurai bullshit in there that is not very good. And it's unfortunate because I can see them trying for something, but it just doesn't get there. Okay. And there are moments of the story that are like that, where like, they're going for something that I can see, but it just feels like it's either, if not beyond them, then they just didn't get there.
I've had that feeling in other Rockstar games of like they're squinting at something that they kind of vaguely remember being a good story beat in a Western or something like that, and be like, I remember this character, and kind of comes off sometimes as a copy of a copy of a copy.
Yes.
That is like, oh, yeah, okay.
And on top of that, like,
it's happened in there. Listen, there have been a lot of crime games where it's just like, this is clearly based on movies you guys saw.
They saw Heat.
They saw Heat. You saw Goodfellas. You saw all this stuff. Let's take the big blotchy paint stripes, and now I'm going to use these in my game. And it's like, wow, you're missing a little bit of the nuance that was portrayed in 2 hours when you do this for 65 hours.
Well, and that's the thing, is I think they are going for more nuance here. Like, they went from watching a bunch of, or remembering what they watched of spaghetti westerns back in the day, to remembering what they watched from like more recent prestige westerns, like the True Grits and the Tombstones and the Assassination of Jesse Jameses of the world.
Things that I've tried to get a little bit more gray area.
Like, as much as Dan Houser might want to say he was not in consuming anything contemporary while writing this game, there are at least a couple of scenes in this game where I'm going to say maybe not actually so much.
Right. In talking to you, you've kind of expressed to me that sentiment too, that this feels a little more nuanced and not as...
Yeah, it's a more nuanced cudgel than usual. And the other thing I will say is that as we are talking about, labor conditions and things like that at the, at Rockstar and sort of the studio culture there, I will say that it is striking, whether intentional or not, that the game is largely about a cultish gang leader that has sort of, charismatically gotten a whole bunch of people convinced to do a whole lot of real bad work for possible gain and maybe profit. Hard to say. And also it features multiple storylines involving evil, capitalists and bosses that, are clearly, vile figures in this world and are exploiting labor in very specific ways that you are intended to heroically stop.
Alex, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Video games are art. Yes. We shall judge society by our art.
And I'm saying this art is maybe talking out of both sides of its mouth a little bit.
That's a weird bug.
Yes, but all of that said, by and large, the core adventure, the story of Arthur Morgan, as it is a very good one.
Satisfying?
I think it is very satisfying. He is a very endearing character. Like, you can see, like, he's fucked up. He does fucked up shit, but they think about it in a way that, a lot of Rockstar games tend not to, other than to sort of throw their hands and be like, well, everyone's doing fucked up shit to each other, so who cares, right?
I do.
Like, in this case, Arthur Morgan's conflict, I think, is portrayed in a much more meaningful and thoughtful way than... Like, I genuinely think, problems aside, this is still probably the best thing Rockstar has ever written. And a lot of that is owed to...
You played Bully.
I did. I like awesome. Bully. I like Bully. I like the Warriors. I think that they have had good writing in their games.
You played table tennis.
If not consistently, and this is more consistent than just about any other game they've ever made.
All right, Alex, you also, as of the time of this recording, we're planning to do a review. So you will be talking.
I'm working on that. Yeah,
you will be talking about this more in the future.
Yes.
Dan and Jeff, is there anything else you guys want to say on Red Dead before we move on? Alex, I'm not trying to cut you short.
No, by all means. I think I've said plenty.
I think you're going to have a lot more to talk about. Dan and Jeff.
I think the thing is, I hope nothing here that I said came off as too negative, because I do have my issues with the cores and
and there are things with the controls too. There are aspects of the game that are not great.
There have been so many times I've meant to just aim my weapon at someone, but it's shot for unclear reasons and things like that. There are multiple things in this game that have annoyed me, or that I've gotten tired of, or took a long time to get going. But overall, it is the scale. I find myself in awe of this game a lot. And at first I worried, am I going to be more impressed and in awe by this than I am having fun with it? And now that I'm well into where it's opened up and everything, and I'm doing all the challenges and everything, I am enjoying the beat to beat gameplay of it a lot. I do think this is probably the best Rockstar game I've played, and like Alex, I've liked a lot of them in the past. So it is not perfect, and there are things that are going to drive some people nuts about this game, I think.
Yeah.
And there are some people, if you're the type that, really has an issue with how long certain animations are and stuff like that.
Only if I'm trying to do a checklist thing, and I've got to skin 400 rabbits together.
See, it's interesting you bring up the checklist thing.
I never looked at those.
Well,
I looked all the time.
So there is a quote unquote checklist, but I think it's a soft checklist.
Yeah, it's challenges that you kind of do in the background, and every mission has tiers of rating, and there are certain things you can beat it in a certain amount of time, or get X number of headshots, that kind of thing, to get gold on those missions.
Shoot this many birds on top of a moving train. I think the reason I'm looking at it so much is that I 100% of the last one I really like doing everything in a game, and so I don't want to do that all at the very end, like Spider-Man doing the crimes at the end for the platinum. So as it's been going, I've been diving into every menu and every challenge and everything I can do, because I do want to get 100%.
But I also did a shit ton of stuff in that game, and my final completion rating was something like 83%. I don't even know what the fuck I would do for 100% in that game.
You can go to the total completion. If you go into progress, there's a total completion thing that tells you, okay, you have to have this many stranger encounters.
I know. I'm just saying, what I'm saying is that, I looked at it, I'm just like, if there whatever that other 17% is, I don't know if I have the energy to go and do that. To me, completion was less important as much as just wanting to see all the interactions and the stories that there were.
Right.
I think there's a lot of floating stuff too that isn't necessarily counted in there. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of it says
floating.
Sometimes it'll say do at least one of these things in the world.
That's not necessarily tracking.
It's definitely tracking the collection of those things, because there's a lot of things you stumble upon, and it turns out you have to figure out what went on here. That's that's a challenge.
When you say floating, you mean standing and background stuff, or
no, floating sort of under the radar, not Easter eggy, but just
hold your
hidden,
breath for 10 seconds.
No, just hidden little things that you have to do a little more detective work.
There are definitely secrets in this game, none of which I will reveal here, but there are aspects of the world that like I didn't even realize were there until I had finished the campaign.
Right, I found something real early that was more Easter eggy than anything else, but there's a lot of like things that aren't necessarily qualifiable.
To get him quantifiable?
Quantifiable.
To get him to his 100%. That's what
exactly. But I will also say that there are similar to the Easter eggy stuff, they're straight up by doing all the story missions, stranger missions, all the primary stuff. There were still parts of the map I had never been to by the time the campaign wrapped up. And when I went there, I was like, holy shit, there's this whole other thing over in this general area.
And that's why I brought up the whole checklist thing in the beginning, because I think this game, and Dan brought up these things, and for me, I think the game is kind of special and new because it, every time one of these games comes out, whether or not we say it directly or whatever, is like it changes stuff, right? Like things change in terms of like what the bar is and like what we say, like, oh well, now every game's going to do something like that, or sometimes. Yeah. I think with this one, it's
sometimes things are derivative.
Sure.
And there are aspects of this game that are certainly derivative of other
100%,
things. But
this game cribs plenty of stuff. I think what's interesting is that the notion of like everything is unique and like nothing is really cut and pasted.
Yeah.
I think that is something that, is kind of still shocks me, where I'm just like, I don't understand how everything is so unique.
Well, they spent eight goddamn years making it with something like I think there was definitely like over 300 or 400 people in the credits as far as just like people that worked on this thing, and who knows how many people eventually went uncredited for their work on that thing.
Because apparently, if you don't make it to the end, you're not getting in there.
And just the idea of like kind of disguising what a story mission is and what is a side mission, and sort of like raising the bar for everything, I think felt really cool.
At the same time, I can also feel every open world developer just fucking groan at the sight of this thing. Be like, oh god, this is what people are going to expect now.
Well, I wonder. We'll see what the reception is, because it does also sound like to me, as somebody who has not played it, who has seen some of it, I would say a fair chunk of it.
Yeah, decent chunk.
Not a fair chunk. I would say some of it.
Yeah,
I've seen like in 2 hours.
It's a flesh wound.
That I don't know if I want these things in other games. I'm not sure the things I have seen in part of the animation.
It's relative, I think.
Yeah, it is. This game has a certain vision, and it is trying to accomplish that vision. If you took any one of these things and it just inserted that solo into like Assassin's Creed,
it wouldn't work.
I would fucking hate it.
Yeah.
I think you need it all to work together. So the skinning thing, right? Mm-hmm. The reason I was initially worried about the skinning animation was in Red Dead Redemption 1, you go out and you shoot 5 coyotes, and then you skin 5 coyotes to go get your stuff. In this, it seems like, you're only skinning one thing and bringing it back at a time, right?
You can put several pelts onto your horse.
But you can only carry one carcass.
Well, unless there are smaller ones like turkeys and shit that you can attach to the side.
Right. Or like you did a cow.
Yes.
And that one cow...
there was no way I was going to, A, be able to lift that carcass, and B, the pelt on its own was the size of a fucking mid-sized sedan.
Yeah. So you're not going to go kill 7 things and then do the same animation around them all, because you won't be able to get that pelt back, right?
I mean, if you're just doing pelts, like, hey, I want to get this thing at the camp that I need 4 perfect boar pelts. You can do 4 pelts and lay them on top of each other.
And you have the same animation?
Well, they're just like a rug that covers the horse butt.
But I'll say again, there's no mission objective that is like that. It's not like you have to go hunt these 5 wolves and get these 5 pelts. Like, it's usually just like, hey, they take you out hunting. Hey, there's a deer. Go skin that deer. Okay, the hunting mission is over. It's not like a long, like, the challenges are there.
Yeah.
The upgrade stuff is there. But as far as like what the game is making you do to progress, it's none of that.
You know me, I'm beyond that.
I know. You're totally beyond help.
But like, I will be doing 5 boar skins my first 10 minutes.
For me, where I play a game like Spider-Man and I'm constantly consulting that checklist.
Yes, get all your crimes.
This is not that.
I never did that really once in this game.
I never thought of it as a job list.
Yeah, it was that, and that to me is like the impressive kind of thing about it, where like you just don't think that way.
I mean, again, I think I said this on the quick look, and I'll say it again here. The thing that this game is primarily an achievement of, it is one of the greatest masking of the machinery of open world games I've ever seen. They do it is. there's they obviously have a lot of fondness for sort of like vaudeville and sort of the theatricality and sort of like making dazzling shows that people don't need to pay too much attention to the inner workings of, and that was what a lot of this feels like. It's sort of a magic trick in that sense of like they are hiding so much under the surface that is making all these systems go to make it all feel like a natural extension of that world, and they pull that off.
Yeah, it is. You believe everything.
So
I believe every goddamn thing I see in
sounds
that
like a general consensus from the three of you. Any little problems aside, or big problems but it sounds like they're just little nitpick things. All three of you pretty impressed with what Rockstar's put out here.
Yeah, I have my problems with it, but I think my ultimate take is that it is a pretty spectacular adventure all around.
All right.
And it's definitely worth buying.
Jeff,
someone asked me, is it worth $60? And I was like,
it's a weekend rental.
I was like, it's worth probably $200.
That's another thing we could talk about at some point.
There might be a pre-order version that you can buy for that much money.
Maybe it should cost $200.
Maybe the price of games needs to move up.
No, don't worry. They've got billions at this point just from GTA Online. They don't need the money.
Oh, not for that.
And then online, and then Red Dead Online, which is like
which is not even an aspect that any of us have touched yet.
We can't.
Totally separate game.
We cannot. Jeff Bakalar, do you have words or videos that you want to point people to for CNET?
Yeah. So part of my reviewing process with this was also, for the first time really ever, I guess, I did like a video accompaniment to my review. Which was
what?
Oh, you mean a video review?
Yeah, I mean, I had done sort of like voiceovers and stuff, but what I did was I had like an interview with someone. Basically interviewed me about the game, and a lot of my gameplay capture footage is included in that. So go check it out. You'll see me pointing out some of the weirder stuff I've come across in that game.
Okay,
and that was a lot of fun. So that's over at cnet.com.
Do you have a review up?
Yep.
Okay,
I do. 14 oat cakes out of a dung pile.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, tough. You guys are strict.
I know.
And then, like I said, we've got Alex's early and some late game impressions. We have a quick look up. I think Brad was leading a live stream just today.
I think their stream was very much about just trying to poke holes in that world and see what kind of dumb shit they can do.
That's up probably now because that was Thursday. That's the day of this recording that they were doing that. And then Alex, in the future, we're not exactly sure, but you should have review stuff.
My hope is to have it up by the time, not necessarily by the time this goes up, but by the day you are likely listening to this.
Whew. We talked about Red Dead.
We sure did. I mean, look, man, there's a lot to talk about in that game.
I think a lot of us are going to be playing a lot more of it going forward.
It's fun, man. This is, we
don't need to keep talking about it.
I was just going to say, think about the
some Metal Gear jokes, Vinny?
fallout after GTA 5, like the months and maybe years of like funny crap that came out of that. It's fun to be able to look forward to that with this.
Yes, the bug videos. I mean, like it was not an exceedingly glitchy experience for me. I had a few here and there, but nothing that was like game ruining. But I will say the bug videos, just from the stuff I saw, will probably be pretty legendary.
Yes. Apparently, day one patch also. I'm curious to see how big that patch is if people bought a disc and then have to download a bunch of that
92 gigs.
For the patch. That is not confirmed.
No.
2 Blu-rays.
Yeah.
All right.
A 2-ray.
All right, so now Alex, Dan, and Jeff.
What?
Don't say anything.
Should we just
this is our time.
Abby Russell.
Yes.
I have been playing Red Dead Redemption 2.
What a weird coinky dink. So have I.
Weird. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
So, what part do you hate the most?
All of it.
Well, first of all, I want to say I'm really enjoying it. I don't find a lot of it tedious. I was expecting to find it more so. But I find even like the gun cleaning, the clothes changing, the temperature stuff, really something I don't think about much. And when I do, it's mostly just fun. Even the horse stuff I was actually really nervous about, but I fucking love petting my horse.
Me too.
I love my horse. My horse is definitely my wife in the game because all he does is say, "Good girl, horse. Oh, you're such a good girl." He loves this damn horse.
Wife. Okay. Is that how it's supposed to work?
I just love all the canned like little things he has to say about his horse. Like, that's my girl.
I know. That's like, I know. But it's also like every time I get into like a firefight on my horse, then after it's like, it's okay, girl. It's okay. I know. It's all right.
And when you got a good horse bond, you don't have to calm down too much. They're usually pretty good.
But I like to check in on her, make sure she's doing all right.
I have also, Abby Russell, I have also punched my horse in the ribs a couple of times.
Man, I know. I did it. I got it on video because I did one and then it immediately started shitting.
So how
I've done that once.
Fuck is everybody accidentally punching their horse? I never once punched my horse.
I just accidentally hit the wrong trigger and it was like, whoops.
It's
I
like
think it's when you go to
wants-
look at it. I think because I saw Bianca do this last night. I think she accidentally did RT or something instead of LT.
Yes,
Would
that's
that do
exactly
it?
what. Yes.
Okay, that's what
exactly
did
what it is.
She felt
It was
very
like I was still figuring out the controls, the whole like, oh, I got to hit a trigger to then hit another button, and I just hit the wrong trigger and was like, whoops a daisy.
It's like, y'all, I love
Sorry, Bessie.
I love Blazing Saddles as much as the next guy, but come on, don't punch your horses.
Yes.
The other
that was in the face, but still.
While we're on horses, I
I
also
saw someone punch their horse straight in the face. I was
No, I was like to the ribs, and then it just shat everywhere.
yeah.
You punched shit out of the horse?
Yes, watch
That's
the video.
cool.
I also am very much enjoying Red Dead Redemption 2. And speaking of horses, I did not expect the tumbling and crashing on horses to be as
I
severe.
hit so much
upsetting.
stuff on that horse. I feel so bad.
Those crashes are violent.
They're very funny to me, but oh boy, do I just wham my horse directly into a tree. It's like Looney Tunes style where like my arms and legs are like wrapped around it and then I fall.
It's like they had the
bad.
button in GTA that would just make you ragdoll. And
Yeah.
it's like that's the way to do it. And this one is just hit a rock or a log.
And when the horse crumples to the ground, it's a little
I know,
rough.
and like Winnie's in this bad way.
Yeah, that's bad. The stuff, let's see. What I did not find any of that stuff tedious yet either that you mentioned, Abby. All the stuff we had talked about previously, and we talked a lot about this last episode, so I won't go too much into it. I'll just say my impressions. Not so tedious. The one thing I have found the tedium in is the trapper and bringing the exotic or legendary furs that are take up the saddle space on your butt, in your horse's butt.
Yeah.
Having to haul those over to the trapper as soon as you find it. Otherwise, you're stuck with that thing on your horse.
I will say, yes, I am a little frustrated because there's a mission pretty early on where they're like, hey, let's go hunt this legendary creature. And then like the guy leaves and you have like the option of staying and like actually hunting it. And I stayed and I did it and I didn't have access to the trapper. So I was like, what do I do with this thing? I don't know what to do. And I feel like there are certain moments in the game where it just like doesn't explain it to you what you're supposed to do. And I heard that there was a trapper. There wasn't anything on my map. I like didn't know where to go. So it's like, whatever, I'm sure it'll unlock later, but I have this piece of like legendary pelt. I should do something with it. So I like took it off my horse. And then if you set it down in camp, they're like, we'll put this in a safe spot for you in camp. So for safekeeping. So I was like, great, it'll be there forever. And then I went off to do a mission and immediately it was like, you abandon your pelt. And you told me, yes.
Yeah, that's the same
wow.
thing I got when I got held up. And I died with my legendary pelt. Like it got that same message of you've abandoned it.
So I died with my legendary pelt on my horse, and I just went back to the spot I died and was sitting on the ground.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
It was not at camp when I went to look for it.
When did they even? I don't remember being introduced to the trapper.
So the trapper is in one of the corners of Lemoyne, like when you've been in Rhodes for a little while, and then eventually it's like below like the Emerald Ranch or something down that way.
There's one.
There's one in the woods that I think they actually give it to you before you go on that hunting mission. That's like,
I was not given.
But it
that's
is.
what I heard.
They give it. I think
mine
they give it
just
to
showed
you,
up.
and it's a little paw print that appears in a cloud in the woods. But they don't tell you explicitly what the hell's going on over there.
I do not even have that on my map at all.
I think they led
so-
me right to it. It's the one southwest of Valentine,
Yeah.
and like in that very early one with the bear.
There's
I
like
did
3
it,
or
and it's
4
like, hey,
of
go
them
here.
on the map total, I think.
Yeah, there's the one in Saint Denis. There's the one southwest
Yeah,
Valentine.
I wish I had that. Like, I feel like there are a few moments in the game where it's like, hey, you're going to unlock this thing later. But, like, I don't realize that necessarily. Like, even when I was at the camp, it was like all of my things were in red of, like, meat, medicine, and everything. And I'm like, how do I fix this? I'm, like, bringing in all these kills, and, like, it doesn't seem to be doing anything. And then eventually it's like, oh, I just have to wait to unlock the like ledger.
Yeah.
And it takes so long to do that, which is fine. I'm like very much enjoying it, but I'm also very much the kind of person who's like, I'm going to do a mission and then I'm going to play for 4 more hours doing all this other side stuff. So sometimes it's a little bit frustrating when it's like, have I just not unlocked this? Am I doing something wrong? Like, I'm not entirely sure where I should be going.
I love that game a lot, but it is still pretty astounding to me how bad Rockstar is at tutorializing and onboarding people for their games, because like it's not like the basic stuff is pretty self-explanatory, but with the number of layer systems that you're dealing with in that game, like there's certain like you said, like the whole thing with like the food and the bullets and whatever, like, you know, they tell you right out of the gate, oh, you got to maintain your camp, but then they don't really explain how that works for like a couple of hours after they introduce that.
Which, like, I appreciate that there are so many systems. So it's like we have to introduce it gradually. We don't want to overwhelm you, and I haven't felt overwhelmed. But it is a thing that it's just like, I wish I knew if this is something I need to just wait for, it'll come, or if it's something that I'm messing up.
It doesn't seem like it would be that difficult. I still haven't unlocked the ledger. because I've been doing a bunch of side stuff. So it doesn't seem like it would be that difficult a thing to do, to be, when you go to look at it, be like, hey, continue down this path to unlock the ledger, or when you're hovering over the legendary skin, to be like, return to a tracker or the trapper to redeem. The other thing that is confusing about that legendary skin is you have to sell it to the trapper,
right,
in order for him to then be able to use it to craft stuff. And so I actually had to go online and look up and be like, I have this. Tried dumping it on top of him, and then he's like, I still can't make you this fucking bear hat. I'm like, I'm not going to sell it.
I do feel like the camp was a little bit like that too, where when you first, because like one of the first missions is you hunt this deer to then bring to the camp to then like skin in front of this dude and give it to him. So it's like, that's what I'm going to be doing here on out. Like, so I'm like taking the meat off my horse and like walking over with it, and he's like, what is this? And then I just talk to him and go into like a menu system to like give it to him, but it's like not. Like, it's not setting it up in the way that I expected it to be.
Like, they very much frame it as, like, you need to be going and hunting to feed the camp, and then you realize, no, that's just for that mission, and then eventually that just becomes, like, a side thing you can do if you want, but it actually has no importance whatsoever to supplying the camp.
Which is fine, whatever. Yeah. I think that's probably better for me, because I hit the camp every so often. I'm really not back at the camp all that much. And I don't want to just like start with a bunch of complaints with the game, because there's a bunch of stuff that I love with the game. Like, have y'all looked at the journal? I think the journal is awesome.
It's cool.
Yeah, so they have this like handwritten journal that just has like, here are sort of the major plots in the game, some like backstory stuff, and like all these little sketches and doodles. I know, he's great. I'm very into it. I'm also just very into Arthur. For a while I was like worried that he was going to be boring, but I think he's great.
Yeah. He's real cool.
Yeah, I really like it as well. I have some stuff that is getting in the way of my enjoyment, like I said, like the if I'm riding around ready to do a mission. Yeah. Like I had a thing, and some of it's funny. I am finding myself immersed in that world, like,
me too.
As they intended, I think, and role playing in that world, and that usually wears off after a bit. Like, I'll follow the traffic laws in a GTA game for about 10 minutes and then start driving on the sidewalk. But here, I think they encourage a little bit more role play. Like, two examples of that. One is I had the fucking legendary skin on my horse that I was going to bring to the trapper. Might have been the bear one. Might have been a dumb fucking legendary beaver, king of the beavers. I don't know, something. Some of those legendary animals are real funny.
The size of a Buick.
I got like a mountain ram or goat or something, and it was just like I found it, and it just kept running around in circles. Like it knew I was there, but it couldn't go outside its territory. So I just found like a space where it would just kind of run around a tree, and then I just had to find a way to hit it with an arrow.
So I had the thing on the back of my horse, and a lady was sitting on the road. A horse had fallen on her.
So I've done that.
And so I got off my horse and I pushed the damn horse off her legs, and I was like, "Hey, do you need a ride back?" And she's like, "Yeah, I can definitely use a ride back. My legs are broken." So, and then I get on the horse, and she's like, "You got to make room for me." And then I've got this legendary skin or this lady
gotta, like,
there,
dump it,
and I'm like, "Oh, right, hold on, let me get this skin off my horse." So I walked to the back of my horse, started getting the skin off, and I guess I walked out too far away from her where my horse was, and she was like, "Fine, I'll walk myself." And I was like, no, I'm getting the skin off. And then I try to walk up to her. I'm like, oh, maybe I can talk to her. But you know the animation priority in that game where it is hard to judge personal safe space from other people, so I wind up checking her onto the ground, and she just takes off running on her broken legs, apparently screaming, being like, "Murderer!" Like,
I find that stuff a little frustrating, because I feel like this happened to me, where it's like, oh, I'm stumbling on like an encounter. Like, I stumbled upon these two dudes like peeping into a window at like some lady changing, so I like ran up on them and then like fell in a river. So I was like, well, that's boned. And then I like climbed out of the river and like looked into the window to be like, what were they looking at? And be like, oh, it's a lady changing. And then I walked away because it's like, I don't want to be a peeping Tom. And I didn't hit the button, but it was still like crime reported. And it's like, come on. I feel like I'm like being docked for like crimes a little too easily. Or like I'll like ride my horse through a town, not that quickly. Someone will walk in the road, fall underneath it. And it's like, well, come on. Now I'm like a murderer.
Well, so that happened to me, but it was completely my fault. And this is the second story that was kind of encouraging them to role play a little bit. I was trying to make it, again, it was probably bringing a skin to the fucking trapper, because that's what I'm hauling ass, because I'm like, oh, I just got to get this thing back to him, then I can continue with the goddamn game. And I'm hauling ass, and the quickest way was following the train tracks. If you guys haven't run through a train tunnel, you should.
I did.
It's very scary and fun. But I was just on the tracks running, and I'm like not really paying attention, because sometimes those traveling times are long, but I'm like, this is the fastest route. I know I'm not going to hit a tree. I'm just going to book it, tapping. but then they're working on the train tracks in front of me, and like I come across people just working, hammering the things.
Oh, cool.
And I plowed through about 8 of them.
Oh my God.
And it just was like murder, 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 murder. And then they all just pull out guns and start chasing me.
No.
And I had to kill the entire train crew.
Oh, my
which
God.
was kind of my fault.
Which is sometimes what you got to do.
Entirely your fault, I would say.
Yeah, it was kind of my fault. But like, I'm just trying to get this skin back to the trader. Anyway,
I guess you're not role playing that hard, if we're being clear.
Again, I didn't reload it. I took accountability for my actions, and I would have totally run down the tracks. It's like, well, I can get out of the way of the train.
I'm not saying this stuff doesn't ever happen. It definitely did. It definitely happened to me a couple of times. But I don't know. I feel like the number of times I actually just accidentally ran down people in a town was pretty low, all things considered.
Grazed up against someone in a way you would on the subway.
Yeah.
Like just not even
They took a flop.
And the dude just totally dove and was like, oh, and everyone's just freaking out around me. And they're like, you're wanted.
I will say sometimes it is like, oh, I've accidentally brushed past someone and suddenly it's like the whole town is after you. And other times I also clipped this video. I left like a hotel and I was on a balcony and I saw my horse below. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to like hop down. I'll be fine. It's not that far of a drop. And I hopped down and I didn't see where I was going and I dropped directly onto a person. and he was like, hey, like, come on, what the hell? And I just had like Arthur like diffuse and he was like, oh, I'm just kidding, guy. And he's like, all right, that's cool. It was like totally fine with it.
The diffuse mechanic is probably my favorite thing to do, is to just antagonize someone a little bit and then be like, oh man, everything's cool.
Just joshing you.
I still fumbled just enough with some of those controls to make it like when I brush up something and when I want to find that diffuse thing, I still accidentally do the wrong thing.
Antagonize.
Or like push up against them again.
Or just rob them.
Or just pull the gun out and blast them.
People are really sometimes a little too quick to pull the trigger.
They are anxious people in this town.
I mean, it was probably a really, paranoid kind of time.
Right. I will say it is pretty cool, though. It was like some gang that I was like trying to talk to the leader of it, but there were like a bunch of like his cronies outside. And the first time I talked to them, I was like, hey, I'm nice guy Arthur. Like, I'm just coming through. Like, don't mind me. And they all started attacking me. And I kept dying. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try threatening and see what happens. And they were like, all right, this is a tough guy. We'll let you go talk to him. That's fine. And it was like totally fine. So I did think it was cool that you had the option and it actually changed
You actually have to sort of think a little bit about how you're approaching it.
Again, I am really, really enjoying the game so far.
Me too.
But here's another thing that I found messed up. I was doing a mission that I came across where a guy was shooting bottles, and he was like a sharpshooter.
Right.
I found that guy.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, I'm here from Mexico, and I'm here to find the best gunslinger in the U.S.
I figured I'd just plant myself in the middle of nowhere, shooting bottles at a bridge.
So I was like, I'll do this. I got Deadeye. I'm going to kill this thing. So I do it, and I shoot all the bottles. She's like, wow, you're really good. All right.
Here's where the hustle comes
double
in.
or nothing to shoot the birds. And I was like, yeah, okay, let's do that. Let me just walk to my horse and get my rifle so I'm not shooting fucking birds with a handgun. Yeah. And I go to walk to my horse. He's like, well, I guess you thought you wanted to do it. I guess not. Well, here's your $5. I'm going to get on my horse and leave. And be like, this fucking sucks. I walked out of bounds of the mission to get my goddamn rifle. I guess I just got to call my horse more and not walk away from people.
Well, at the same time, like for that mission, they actually, I think, do want you to use your revolver because you're using, like you're doing the shooting stuff. Like if you're trying to be a gunslinger there, you're not trying to be a rifle slinger.
Well, I mean, I'm shooting birds. I'm not going to be an idiot.
Well, but at the same time, you've got Deadeye. So also, you're already, it doesn't matter.
But also, my Deadeye core was out, Alex.
Oh, well, then just eat some fucking
40 cigars.
Yeah, smoke
and chew some coke.
Hold on, I'm going to snort some coke and drink some
put
whiskey.
a nice little wad of chaw under your lower lip, and you'll be good to go.
What are you doing? I'm good now.
It would be really good to just have a mode where he's just like all geeked up out of his fucking mind.
Al Pacino as Arthur Morgan.
Like the best thing for the stamina and Deadeye is liquor. So like before I go into anything, I'm usually chugging like 4 bottles of gin and then going in there.
God, I'm just imagining fucking Arthur Morgan as like Al Pacino in Heat, and it is just making me giggle.
It's pretty good. That first one of the earlier missions when you're out drinking.
Oh that one's so fun. You're just like trying to find Lenny.
Yeah,
that's
really
so
good.
good. You're just like going around looking for Lenny, and if you look at all the dialogue options, it's like Lemmy. Like
everything's written backwards.
All right, I don't want to. We talked a lot about Red Dead last time. I don't want to spend too much in the details, but I think it is pretty great, Abby.
Yeah. I'm really, really loving it a lot. I really like a lot of the side missions, a lot of like the more immersive stuff. A little things I quibble with. I also am a little frustrated with how like John Marston's in it. I find it a little bit like, this is sort of what I didn't want with it, where it's sort of like, oh, you have this image of John and we're gonna fucking flip it on its head. Maybe he's the bad guy. Maybe he's not as good as you think. Whatever. And I'm sure it'll be like some redemption story for him at the end of it. Yeah, but like, I fucking played Red Dead 1. I enjoyed it. I don't want to I don't need a thing that's gonna be like, we're gonna change your perspective. It's not as black and white as you thought. I don't know. I just think it's annoying.
I'm not very far, and I love what they're doing with John. I love the part where they're like, John's kind of dumb as rocks, but he kind of survives in a weird way. And that's how I felt in Red Dead 1, was like, you're kind of an idiot, but
I
you
love
do
John
survive.
in Red Dead
but he's
1.
also an idiot.
But I also feel like they established stuff that he seems like very much a family man, and like, yeah, he's like on this journey away from his family, but he like references them a lot. He never goes with like the saloon girls because he's like, I have a wife, this and that, you know what I mean? Which is like very kind of different from a lot of how the Rockstar games treat that stuff. Just so to have him be like, he abandoned his boy, and like he's always fighting with his wife, and like this and that, it's like, well, I don't need this.
I think they're just trying to frame that he came from somewhere, and it wasn't necessarily just that he was always a nice guy. Like he was just kind of a shitbag and a kind of a.
I don't need that though. I played the first game. I don't need
character development.
But like the first game had some. I don't need them to like retcon my game. I don't know. I find it a little frustrating. But
you should sign my online petition. We'll have them change the ending to Red Dead 2.
I'm also playing it in chronological order, so I'll be completing Red Dead 1 after my playthrough of Red Dead 2.
Right. Where does Red Dead Revolver fit into that canon?
It is not recognized.
Okay, what about Gun? Is Gun in there somewhere?
Gun's cool.
Gun's for all this.
I like it. I can't wait to play more of it.
Same.
I like how, in talking to the folks here, we're able to go. It does seem like it opens up in a way at one's own pace. Mm-hmm. Like I'm in places that Dan said he just got to
35, 40 hours in.
And I'm like 5 hours in, and I'm in the same place, the same town.
No one has yet to find the thing I found.
And you keep talking about
you
it.
found
There's
thing?
a thing that I found.
Oh, it's
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what this thing is, so how can I know if I found it?
You would know if you found it, based on what
There's
what
a lot
Jeff
of
described,
weird
which
stuff.
I never found.
Is it like
by
a
the way.
Bigfoot or something?
You'll know.
We're not gonna describe it here.
It's just fun.
It's just it's one of those Rockstar weird hidden Easter egg things that they always do.
Is it like when you kill the guy in GTA 3 and you zoom in on his notepad and he's drawing a dick?
Yes, it's that. It's actually
like
just
that?
exactly that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually just found a whole graveyard of dicks.
This time it's actually you zoom in. It's a picture of that guy drawing a dick.
Oh wow,
yeah, it's kind of meta.
Wow,
yeah, it's very weird.
I was I warned Bianca about Alex. She just started it within the last couple of days, and I was like, just so you know, it's going to take a long time to open up. So if you're not feeling it right away, just know that it all gets better. And she just immediately loved it so much. She was like moved to tears last night, and she is not. She had a moment like how I was with Breath of the Wild, where it's like I feel like a child in a way a game hasn't made me feel since, like, for her it was Morrowind. That was the big thing, and not an easy crier, but she was like talking about how much this game meant to her, and like, wow, okay, this early on had a major effect on her.
Can't say that it ever made me cry, but there were definitely some moments in that game where I was just kind of like overwhelmed by both the scale and just sort of the vibes of the whole thing.
It is a flippin' impressive piece of software.
Incredible.
And I don't mean that. It is art. It is a game. It is amazing. It is the culmination of a lot of hard work. But it is impressive. And I would say so far, for the amount of stuff going on there, the small little quibbles I've had with it, I'm surprised that thing isn't falling apart at the seams. It is supporting its weight so far.
Yeah, I think when we talk about open world jank, I think everyone thinks to like the Elder Scrolls games or Fallout or something, and this is nowhere near that.
I feel like there's some jank, but it's usually fun and funny. Yeah, I don't find it game breaking. I know that you've had that one bug with your horse dying.
I did,
but
sucked,
most stuff I find just like, well, that was kind of goofy, and then I don't have to think about it again.
Yeah, like a lady floating in a saloon. Or
right, exactly.
Like that.
Yeah. I am surprised at how much that thing can hold up its weight.
Yeah, I'm still liking it more. 40 whatever hours in or something now. I'm liking it more every time I sit down with it.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and again, I'm really enjoying the pace of it, which I thought.
Yeah, same. I don't even mind. I don't mind the skinning. I don't mind the looting. I don't mind I'm gonna ride from like one part of town to the other, and it's gonna take a while because I find it enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. I do wish I would pay $15 to have a buddy on another horse or a mule or something with me just to hand off the fucking skins, even the legendary stuff, and just be like, it's somebody you
call
can
the trapper who just comes to you.
Somebody you can whistle for and be like, come on, man, just bring these skins back. Because that's the only part. The limited space on the back of the horse for when I have to ferry something of an import that I don't want to ditch. bums me out because there's a lot, and it bums me out because there's a lot of stuff going on in that game, and I feel like I'm passing by side quests.
It's like I don't want to miss a thing. Yeah, especially because I think the side quests are really pretty cool.
But also, a lot of those will respawn over time.
But again, that's not made clear.
So no, it's also not.
Like. Even though knowing that they do, I'm like, oh, but what if it doesn't? What if I never see it again?
I've got this perfect pelt.
I've seen the same bounty hunter that I've never bothered to hunt down or take the bounty off of like 6 times. Like the exact same setup, just in different parts of the map.
I do want to replay this already as like a total fucking asshole.
I kind of want to replay it on Xbox One X because I keep hearing that version like looks considerably
Let's talk about the continuing story of Red Dead Redemption. Actually, the continuing story of Red Dan's redemption or irredeemable redemption.
I'm pulling up a chair for this one because this shit slapped me in the face when I walked in the office.
Where are we on the Red Dead 2 train? I'll lead it. Ready?
Can I direct quote you? No, I'm not going to.
Yeah, you can.
Let me lead in first.
Let's let him establish first.
Okay, so I have not really played a ton more Red Dead. I've kind of gone in. I'm enjoying it. The things I have said before still stand. I find it to be immensely impressive. I'm continuously impressed by this game. I don't know if I am always entertained by the game.
Yes. Right. That's your thing. That's
my thing.
That's your pull quote.
I'm standing by. Alex, you finished the game.
Yes.
You enjoyed it very much.
I still love it, but yes.
Jeff Bakalar,
I'm not embarrassed to say I've spent 5 hours playing it on Xbox One X.
You've switched platforms.
Am I crazy?
A little bit.
I don't think you are.
It looks so good. I almost don't want to go back to
if it's giving you like new life and new interest in the game, then you're not crazy.
For what it's worth, it's a totally like like I said, 5 hours. It feels different. Like what I've seen, and everything.
Dan Ryckert, you are not finished yet, but he's
he's actually getting pretty close.
I talked to Alex this morning, and it sounds like I'm right at the end.
What are your thoughts? What are your updated thoughts here?
It has been a saga for the last month or so. I've been playing this.
That's what I've heard. Very deep story.
Well, going back to I feel like if you went back, I don't remember what I said on every podcast about it, but I feel like it has been a declining enthusiasm. Where early on, I think it was just like, oh my God, the amount of stuff here and the way this is all going to interact with each other. Like, this just seems like it's on this other level or whatever, which it is in many, many, many ways. And I want to preface this whole thing with saying that, like, visually, the audio, the story, the characters, the voice acting, so much of this is completely unrivaled in games. It is absolute top of its class. It has got so many things that could be, best moment for me, best new character. Like, I don't want to be too negative here. I get no joy out of this because I've spent the entire first part of this year just assuming, based on how much I loved the first one, that this was going to be my game of the year. And now I'm honestly wondering if it's in my top 10.
Don't say things you can't take back.
I'm not promising anything.
He's not claiming anything yet.
I kind of just want to read your text message.
You can do that. Go ahead.
Read his text message?
Sure.
I mean, you can do that once I get...
Let him get through his spiel first.
Okay, and then I think maybe like the second week of talking about it, I think I said something about like, this is incredible, but I do wonder if I am more impressed by this game than I am having fun with it.
Right.
And then I can't remember what I said last week, but I
think you kind of reiterated the same idea, maybe a little more like, I'm kind of ready now for this to be done.
Yeah, and oh boy, this last week has been a real turning point. Like if it's been a steady kind of decline, it kind of fell off a cliff.
So it wasn't a thing that's
no, there was
a thing.
There was a thing that happened, but I mean, I was well on the downslide before this stupid thing last night even happened.
And you're just mainlining story as much as you can?
That's the thing. It's like I 100%ed that last game. I've said it before. It's my favorite game of last generation. I wanted to do everything I possibly could in that game. And I assumed, certainly, that that's what I was going to do here. And so that's how I played the early fucking 30, 40 hours of this game. Is every stranger mission. I'm going after every legendary thing. I'm trying to do every challenge, which I'm learning some of those are glitched and I just can't do. That's been frustrating. But now, in this last week, I was like, okay, I'm like 60, 70 something hours in this now. I just want to play other stuff right now. I want to see the ending of this game. And so I decided to kind of mainline it. And the things that are frustrating about that game, you can put them off when you're early on because you're still so wrapped up in how detailed this world is and the story, and I want to see where this goes and everything. But after this long with this game, you start to have less patience for the things that are bad about this game. The controls, the animations taking too long and being weird sometimes. The fact that every fucking time I want to take a mission, it's just got this thing baked in where I basically don't even give me the illusion of control over this thing when you're writing and talking with someone for fucking 20 minutes. I know I'm exaggerating, but like to a thing. It's not fun to just, cinematic and hold an X. Like if you want to do that, just fucking give me a cutscene or whatever. Don't make it seem like I can do something, because if I want to do something, if I see an animal on the side of the road that like, I think I need one of those pelts, you try to steer off away from Dutch for 20 feet and he yells at you and it says mission failed. So as open as this world is, it is kind of the illusion of openness once you get into these missions, because you try to stray from that path really at all and do your own thing, and it yells at you and says, hey, get back on track.
Once you're on a mission path, there is a bubble that forms around you, and like the open world is still happening around that bubble, but if you try to exit it, it causes some problems.
So it sounds like you attempted to deviate from a mission a few times.
I mean, just a few times I tried it, and then you learn that, like, oh no, it wants to shuttle me on this path, even though this is conceivably an open world game. Like, you don't really get to make your own decisions once you've accepted the mission.
On a mission.
Okay. On a mission, yeah.
And that's the thing, too, is just the fact that it takes so long to get to these missions, and then you finish them. And I don't know how many times I've looked at the map and I've been like, fucking, I got to go all the way over there? Are you fucking kidding me? And now I'm at this point, I don't know if it's a story thing. I think it might be a story thing based on stuff that's happened, but like, yesterday I had to go all the way across the map for something to do my next story mission, and I was like, fuck, that's so far. I just need to go. I'll try to take a train or a stagecoach.
Yeah, there wasn't any of that.
I went.
I think the thing he's talking about was not near a town, so he still would have had to do some
writing.
I
went to a train station with a guy at the window, and I went up and I held L2 and I held square to go to the train thing, and all the destinations were grayed out, and it's just like, trains are unavailable. It's like, cool.
Oh, because of a story thing?
I think
it's probably because you started the mission.
No, I'm talking about out of
you're out of mission. Okay, then I have no idea what that was.
And then there are times I go to a stagecoach thing, and there's just a lock on it, and it says, can't do the stagecoach.
Is it time of day stuff, you think?
No, I've gone in the middle of the day and stuff. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Sounds like New Jersey Transit.
It also sounds like a thing where Rockstar just didn't explain a reason for why something was happening.
I mean, there was a recent story thing that could maybe explain it, but that was in a different region. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's been so many times of just like, I've seen this world time and time again. I've ridden my horse across, I know what the plains and the swamp and all this stuff look like. So
it sounds like a country song.
Yes. So I don't get that awe of like, oh man, look at this. Like, yeah, it still looks beautiful. Oh, that waterfall, great. Oh, look at that sunset. This is great.
Beauty fatigue.
I'm fatigued by all that stuff, and I don't want to have to fucking go all the way across the map.
Sounds like you've run out of patience.
I am. Yeah, it's been on the downslide for a long time, and then there was a moment last night that if I wasn't already so down on this game at this point, it was like a fucking breaking point for me.
Oh my god!
And it was. I told Alex what mission it is. I don't know, but basically it's
a late game mission.
It's a late game mission. It's a long one, and it follows the format of most missions in this game, which is long ride to the thing. Action scene starts, but this is like a particularly long action scene and stuff. So
and I will just quickly add, this is part of my least favorite quest line in the game, and it is a part that I probably would have just straight up fucking excised if I was editing that game.
Yeah, it fucking drags. And I got like to the end of this thing, and to its credit, like this is the one time this dramatic of a error happened, but it went to full on blue screen.
Crash.
Like Red Dead has encountered an error. Let's go back, and then I loaded the game back up, and I was just back at camp. Like, I didn't even start the mission. I wondered if it was going to checkpoint me or something, but nope. Arthur's just leaning against a tree in camp, and I have to ride to the fucking start, and then I have to, like, do the whole thing again. And that was any semblance I had of patience. Like, if I did not have an obligation through my job to play this big game through to completion and speak to the entirety of it, that is the point where I would have just thrown my hands up and been like, fuck it, I'm never playing this game again. But instead, just something broke in me, like that now I'm trying to finish the game because I know I'm so close.
Like almost out of spite, in a way.
Yeah, so I'm riding my horse around, and now whenever those little gray dots of like, hey, mister, where I would have like, oh, I need to see everything, I'm literally just shooting them in the head now.
Wow.
Like, I see a mister, I'm stuck in a bear trap. Fuck you, dead. Don't bother me, I'm trying to finish this game.
Congratulations, you are now a true player of Rockstar video games.
But here's the weird purgatory of it for Arthur is don't those people come back until you finish the mission?
I don't know. They will continue to show up.
If they say hi to me, I'm shooting them in the fucking head.
Isn't that hilarious, though?
They just become ghosts
at the point that you are just executing these people as you're riding through, they are going to respawn and come back again and be like, Mister, I'm not going away until you help me.
They're in their own little Groundhog Day hell that they just can't get back.
Snake bite!
Nope, just through the head and shotgun.
So here's the thing. I get it. I totally get it, because I did have one crash bug that happened to me in a mission when I was first playing that game, but it was really early on, so it didn't really negatively impact me. The questline you are on now, like I said, is probably my least favorite part of the game. It's the build up toward the end. The end I do like, but the build up for that one, it's the one part of the game I think goes on way too long.
Yes.
And the mission design and the story elements of that plot line are probably the weakest part of the game. And while I think the difference between you and me is that I never lost patience with it. I still enjoyed riding from place to place. There were times when I didn't even need to. Like, it was just like a little side thing that didn't really matter. I rode clear across the map up into the fucking mountains just to do stuff because I just wanted to get around. Yeah. Like, that worked for me. But if I was someone that was like really just wanted to finish that game, I would be feeling every bit of the frustration you have right now.
But the problem is, I don't want to I didn't want to rush this game.
Yeah,
you know, I went through this, like, my early hours were like, I need to, because all the side stuff is good. It doesn't feel like bullshit filler stuff. Like, it's all like they all have their own little stories and they all matter. But I'm just so tired with the way that game feels to play.
Right.
That, like, I think everything about that game that is not a video game part is stellar. Mm-hmm. I think the part where you're controlling a video game and doing game shit is straight up bad at times, and I was able to kind of look past that early on because everything around it was so enticing.
Also, I think you were probably giving Rockstar benefit of the doubt to be like, they generally have pulled through some good story stuff.
I mean, I love their open world games, you know, and especially the one prior to this. And I think that's why I'm so disappointed in this game now, is because I did love that first one so much and I had such high hopes. And at this point, I can honestly say I'm having zero fun with this.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect you to say that.
I don't like this game anymore.
I don't like, he said, I don't like this game anymore.
One thing. What did you text, Jeff?
You go ahead. You can read it off your phone, Jeff.
I'm still having fun with the game. I'm still running around. I haven't hit a big.
So I woke up. I was up very early this morning, and Dan texted me this while I was sleeping. He goes, "Are you done with RDR?"
That's Red Dead Redemption.
I think I fucking hate this game. I'm not done, and I just hate it more and more every mission I play.
Congratulations on becoming Jeff Gerstmann.
Yes.
Yeah, finally, you've said that.
He hated it at the beginning.
Yeah, no, he hated it from the word go.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I reserve the right, you know, because we're going to talk about this a lot at Game of the Year.
Oh, there are people with cards right now being like, phoning in like Wall Street floor
sell,
or being like, Dan declares he hates it.
Yes. And
take it off the board.
I am at peak frustration right now and peak ready for this to be done. So maybe I'm speaking a bit harsher right now than I normally would. And maybe
fired up.
You know, maybe I'll beat it this weekend and then give it a few weeks and we're going to talk about this Game of the Year and I'll see the whole thing in hindsight and be able to speak to the entirety of it. But right now,
catching you at a hot moment.
Yeah, right now I don't like Red Dead Redemption 2.
And if that ends up being your final opinion, I think your justification in it is totally sound.
And I believe the internet will be very receptive and reasonable.
Yeah,
in your,
whatever.
That's a total lucid thing that could happen. I feel like you know, if it didn't crash like that.
Right.
He would still be frustrated.
That's the thing. I don't want to make it sound.
Push you over the edge.
And I also don't want to say, like, this is not a game, like, you know, again, I've played however many hours. That has only happened one time. It was incredibly poor timing for it to happen.
The worst timing.
But the game is not prone to that. I'm not saying I dislike the game now because that happened. I'm just saying I was already so much on a fucking decline of how much I was enjoying that game. And then for that to happen at that time last night, that's why you saw, like, you know, me saying, I think I fucking hate this game.
That was a precision shot to just be like, just kill any joy he was having.
Realistically, even now, even while I'm hot about this game, like, I know I fucking hate this game is too strong for how I feel because there have been so many times during this game I've been like, this is incredible.
Here we go, boy.
I started.
Everybody, put it back on the board.
No, bye.
I'll stand by saying I don't know if it's on my top 10 anymore. But this game has incredible moments, and it does things better than almost any game I've ever seen. I still do love this story, even though I am in a stretch that just takes fucking forever. I love the character of Arthur.
Now, look, the reason why I'm not 100% surprised with the way you're talking about this game right now is because, like you said, over the last 3 weeks or so, you have been sort of fading a little bit on it. I want to know what.
No, I feel like we're having a session with Dan.
Like we're in group therapy right now.
I needed it.
That's fair.
It has to be therapeutic in some capacity.
I feel like you're like
we're trying to like retrace the steps.
Exactly right. You're like just one more question.
Yeah, you know, we're excavating.
Yes, go ahead, Dr. Bakalar. Please continue with the patient.
I wonder where you think it all started. If we could go back to the beginning.
What was the moment where...
So my dad, when I was growing up...
No. This isn't like lay down on the fucking couch. This is like...
When was the first time in that game you started feeling it? Be like, oh man, I don't know about this.
I noted it even at the very beginning, being like, you know, when we were all kind of talking about like, oh man, this animation, they make you do that. Yeah. Oh, like, you got to sit down and you got to start the fire and you got to like open your thing of tonic and stuff. Like, even at the very beginning, I was like, oh wow. But I think at a certain point I was like, okay, I think I can get used to this, or I can ignore these things, or which I also want to say I hate the core system, the core. Like, just give me one meter.
I think we all.
No one has anything real nice to say about that.
No, but I kept thinking that like the stuff around it that was so good would pull me through. But I did notice from the beginning that like, man, these animations, I don't remember the first one being so deliberate and slow. And you know the shit, like in Batman or Gears of War, the walk and talk slow thing?
Yeah.
I feel like that shit happens constantly. Like every time I'm in a camp or in a certain area, you know, it's just like, okay, well now is the part where I got to get off my horse and walk slowly. And like,
because it would look crazy for Arthur Morgan to sprint around.
Do you remember John Marston's running animation? It looks like he's got a fucking pole up his ass the whole time through.
Yeah.
Man. It's just a fucking bummer.
This is interesting.
Like, I never would have thought in 2018 that last night I had the thought that like, man, I don't want to be playing Red Dead Redemption 2. I just want to play Spyro. Like, that's a fucking crazy thing.
That's a thought.
We've grown so much.
Yeah, look, there's no wrong thoughts.
No, I know, but I'm just bummed that this is the way it shook out, and that like my thoughts on this game are largely negative. And this was. I remember when they announced this, and I was like, oh, man, I'm finally getting this, the big fucking sequel to one of my favorite games of all time, and now I just don't think I like it.
So what you're really saying, though, is what I'm hearing.
I mean, you share a lot of the
I do share a lot of opinions. But what I'm hearing from Dan is he's open to accept some other bids here for Game of the Year.
I got some other thoughts.
He's going to start getting gift baskets from like the West Coast. Like, so I heard you don't like Red Dead, but maybe I can interest you.
Consideration.
Have you played Call of Duty?
I can see several games that I'd be okay with being our Game of the Year about this one.
I love the shit out of Red Dead, but there are definitely other games I can see myself considering for Game of the Year. I mean, it's like I don't think any of this is settled.
No, not at all.
Absolutely not.
This could go any number of directions.
This is a good one.
I just started playing Into the Breach again.
And the bridge is awesome.
I refer to this as your guys' fucking problem.
That's funny because I'm stuffing you in my suitcase and bringing you to San Francisco this year.
I am not carry-on baggage.
No, you're going into the undercarriage.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
it's cold down there.
My favorite wrestler. Let's that doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
Really.
It's not great.
Yeah. Thanks, Dan, for sharing.
That was very
interesting thoughts.
Totally.
Yeah.
I like hearing it.
It's going to be. We're out there in like 2 or 3 weeks.
And Dan, you are hardly the first person I've heard who had very high hopes and high expectations and high feelings, even at the outset of that game, that just petered out at a certain point.
Yeah.
Will you try the online?
Yeah, you know what? I still am totally open to, like, I'm excited to see what that is. Maybe we've been playing some GTA Online recently, and I'm curious to see what that's like with a game that came out in 2018.
It would be nice to see if they've actually learned any lessons since designing that game.
Yeah, so I will go into that completely open-minded. I hope that is really good, because, again, there's great stuff in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And let's just jump right in here and say Red Dead 2 is online.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
I played a bit of it.
You made me a character.
I did. Are you still using it? I made David
I haven't played yet.
I feel like not my best work, but it's just getting used to the character creator.
I think you made the best possible Bob Saget out of the tool set that you were given.
Thank you very much, Alex.
So I think by the time this goes up, some permutation of people will be playing Red Dead Online. I think mostly everybody.
Yeah, by the time this goes up, I think that'll be the day that everyone can just get in and play.
Abby, what do you think? You spent a little time in there.
I didn't spend a ton of time, but I enjoyed what I did so far. I'm sort of curious, because right now, it's hard not to just compare this to GTA 5, right? And like the fun for me of GTA 5 is like driving around in cars, having like a fuck ton of money to just spend on like clothes and cars and just like dick around. And right now I'm sort of seeing like how the economy works in Red Dead Online. Because right now I want to just be rich. I want to buy the clothes I want to buy. I want to buy the guns I want to buy. And I'm not sure how I make that money yet. So
I wake up every morning, look at myself in the mirror and say exactly all of that.
I mean, it's a relatable
I want to get the guns I want to get. I want to get the clothes I want to get.
How do I make that money?
How do I make that money?
I just want 5 million horses.
Time to grind, partner.
And I get in the car and drive to work.
Yeah, it's still super early in this experience.
So
as well.
I think that for me is going to be the real thing.
Poke the system a bit.
Yeah, because I'm enjoying it. It's fun to play as like a woman my size. It's like funny to pick up like corpses that are like these huge men and just like throw them over my shoulder.
Right. Does any part of the running around and grabbing stuff and looking at stuff and playing a video game feel any different than the base game and how the character controls? Okay, it is that game.
Yeah, which I like that game. I enjoy the moseying. I enjoy the running around. So like that's not an issue for me. I do hope that I feel just more rich and powerful though. I don't know if I have it in me, the longevity of like, I'm going to be a poor cowboy who can't just stick around in this fun open world.
You want to be a damn robber baroness.
Exactly.
Don't play it for like 8 months because they're going to add, presuming it goes along the lines of GTA Online, not only will they add a ton of stuff to it, eventually they'll be like, oh, we need to rope people into this to try to get them to buy currency for the gold bars or shark cards, whatever the fuck it is now. And so they'll be like exceeding like login bonuses. Like they had this one over like you were talking over
the
like
$1
break,
million dollars in GTA Online
and
money.
the GTA Online economy is broken for a lot of reasons outside of the game too. But I presumably that deal only gets better as they get more like, oh, let's just find ways to get more people to play this fucking thing.
I'm sure. And I'm still eager to jump into like the online story missions and sort of see what those are about, and hopefully those will be fun. And I'm very excited to like play those with my friends. I think that's going to be really cool because I think it's a fun world to explore and like dick around in. I just want to be able to explore it and dick around in it in a way that makes me feel rich in the clothes I want to wear.
I'm kind of excited to go back in from scratch because like by the end of Red Dead normal story, money's not really an issue. You just have a ton of money.
Right.
And you also, like, similar to Red Dead 1, you get most of the stuff you want and need just
from
through
story
doing missions.
Yeah, but like, I was thinking back to the beginning of that game where I would loot every body that I shot because like money was so valuable, and I'm kind of interested in going back and seeing if that feels good again because I was enjoying it at the beginning of the story mode for 2, so I'm wondering if like it'll have the same kind of pull for me.
$2.83.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God! Holy shit!
Yeah,
Dude,
we're balling now.
yeah.
I bet I will say right here on this very podcast.
Go ahead.
1 year and a half from now.
18 months.
18 months from now, you'll be able to buy a version of a car.
No. They seem to
Some
really
kind of horseless carriage.
Some kind of horseless
Okay.
Like
carriage.
maybe like a steam-powered kind of
Well,
contraption.
there are cars in Red Dead 1.
Yeah, but that was 1917.
And what is this?
1899.
Okay, you will be able to buy a very
prototype of a
prototype
car.
kind of car.
They allude to it. They mention like
Mechanical
a horse.
horse.
Facility, yeah.
I thought you meant like when they started bringing Cadillacs into Mario Kart or whatever.
If
First of all, those were Mercedes.
Okay, they're
Honestly,
great.
I always use the Mercedes.
Great stats. Great stats.
If they can bring a motorcycle into World of Warcraft, you will be able to. Or link ride the fucking
I
motorcycle.
what I want is one of those big wheel bicycles.
Oh, that would be pretty good.
Yeah.
Like a Power Wheel.
Yeah. I the one thing I do wish, and I totally understand why they don't, but I think I really loved it so much in the first Red Dead Online was I had that weird little character who would always say those weird things. And I wish that my protagonist is completely silent.
Yeah.
So it's a little I wish I could just pick a voice set and have her just say a bunch of weird shit all the time.
Just whistle. Just whistle at
Yeah.
people.
That is
Well,
fun
pitch it
too.
down as much as
no,
possible.
I pitched it as high as possible.
Okay.
It's
Do
like
you
a
not
fucking
do you
dog
not have
whistle.
NPCs or whatever that you still have to hail and target and greet or antagonize? And that
You
they
have
just don't talk at all.
silent emotes. And, I can I
yeah.
do enjoy going around and just having this goofy wave at everybody. You can also you could just have general emotes.
You don't even grunt or anything, right?
You do a little bit when you're on the horse.
You do, okay.
And,
But you don't call it by name or anything, or say,
no, it's a lot of
girl,
shh, and
Okay.
yeah.
I'm riding a horse.
Yeah.
What are you
noise.
doing to your horse?
Loving it.
Still very early on.
Bonding with it.
Bonding, brushing
Yes.
it, bonding it.
It is fun. You get little stats that are very small. It seems. I mean, it's hard to tell, but it's +5 padded horse.
I got to the point yesterday, I think, and I'll talk more in depth about this during Game of the Year stuff, but I was like, hey, I'm going to go finish this epilogue in Red Dead. I went back to the hotel. I sat down. I think I got to the end of the first epilogue, and I did a mission. I won't say spoilers, but got on a horse. I rode about 15 minutes. I shot 3 guys and got back on a horse and rode 15 minutes back. And I think I got to all right, I'm going to throw in the towel, and I don't think I'll ever play this game again. I'm uninstalling this. I don't care that I'm right at the end. I just can't do it anymore. I got just so mad and so disappointed. And I think even though I'm right there at the end, the finish line's right in sight.
Yeah, Red Dead 1.
Yeah.
Well, Red Dead 2 1.
Right. I bet if I played 3 more hours, I could see the real credits and stuff. But I'm just so
Believe
done.
how weak you are.
I'm kind of there with you. I don't think I'll finish the epilogue. I mean, maybe one day, but
And honestly,
So how many hours did it take you to get to a point where you were like, man, I don't think this game's very good?
I was still
About
thinking
2 to
that
3
this.
podcasts.
Yeah. I was still
Yeah, it was
thinking.
pretty hot on in the beginning.
I was because honestly, and again, I'll talk more in depth later. But the story is really good, and the full main story, non-epilogue stuff, like I think it's extremely well done, and I thought that was going to carry me through. Like there was never a point where I was like super hot on how it felt.
Right.
If you remember even the first podcast where we talked about it, I was like, yeah, it's really deliberate, it's really slow, but I think I'm going to be fine with this. And I'd say maybe 30, 40 hours in, I was kind of like, I think I might be ready for this to be done. Maybe I'll start doing more story missions. Maybe I won't 100% this one. Because, I 100% the first one.
Sure,
And so it's like 30 hours in, it's like, maybe I won't do literally everything. 35. And then it just like accelerated the snowball going down the hill of like, oh, wait, I don't think I'm having any fun. Oh, I don't think I like any of this. I think I might hate this game. And then now it's just, I don't ever want to play it ever again.
That took me 4 hours.
I know. I envy you. I'm glad I saw the story through.
One part.
I do like the story and the characters a lot. But you saved yourself a lot of frustration by getting the fuck out of that game when you did.
I tried multiple times, like because I didn't like the previous game, but I was like I really want to give this one a go and really give it more of a shot than I gave the first game, and I tried pre-release like playing it, and it was just like I would like try to do a mission, something fucking dumb would happen, like this guy walked in front of my horse and now I failed this mission, and I would just quit the game. And then like an hour later go, motherfucker, and then relaunch the whole thing, sit through all the loads, get back into it, have something else terrible happen, and go, what the fuck am I doing?
It became a fucking chore to like, I felt like I needed to keep going back, and since I was so close to the end. But then you got Hitman looking at you, got Tetris looking at you, I had Astrobot there, and it's like, why would I play this game that I hate playing?
There's so many good games right now. Why would you bang your head against that thing? Of all
it's
things?
useless.
Like, it's just crazy.
It's good to know that I'll just never play it again.
Counterpoint.
Yeah.
Alex, you really like it?
I do, and I think a big part of that is the fact that I don't think I had very many of those moments where I felt like the game was pushing back against me. Like, I know that stuff is there, and I've certainly seen people experience it, watching other people play it and have those moments, and certainly hearing you talk about it, but like, the number of times I felt like my progress was impeded by something dumb in the world happening that I had no control over was like one hand I could count it on.
That was like, I had a few times where there were straight up bugs or something broke or something, but like the bigger problem is just the general, like even if everything worked as intended the whole time, that was the bigger problem, is I don't like the basis of what that game is and how it feels.
I think like part of it for me was, like there were a lot of issues that kind of impeded my ability to just kind of like have fun with it. But like that started with the first time you move the left stick.
Yes.
And I was like, God, this is terrible. Who would play this?
All the way to the end where I can't remember if I talked about this on mic or not, but like there's a part where, there's a lot of like musical things in this game that are really like, it does it really well. Rockstar's always been great with music. And there's a part near the end where there's one of those like, oh, music's playing, it's swelling, and this is a real emotional
sort of
moment.
Intentional montage moments.
Exactly, as you're riding to a thing, and I was like, the song was pretty cool, and then like I veered off the path for like a foot or two, and the text on the bottom says like, get back to the path, and it makes a little like ding sound, and that stopped the music. And I was like, well, that was the whole fucking thing of the scene, is they're trying to do this big musical thing, so I had to reload the save and go back.
What's super weird about that is that some of those, like, they don't give you the option. Like, there's a couple of those scenes where it's like literally they just take control from you, and there's nothing that you can do about it.
I know which ones you're talking about.
So it's like, I don't understand why they wouldn't be consistent about that.
I think on that same one for you, I also veered off the path, had that message, but then my horse hit a rock. I fell off. The music stopped, and then it penalized, like it gave me the game over screen because I was off of it for too long.
Yeah, I had a point last night when I was trying to do the epilogue thing, and you're taking like a stagecoach into town, and it got all weird and hooked up on a bridge or whatever, and I couldn't move it, and then it just goes, failed. Your wagon became inoperable. Fuck this.
Get better at games, Abby. You're really liking it, right?
I love it. For me, I love going through each and like starting each chapter, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to explore the world. I'm going to buy these outfits. I'm going to like find these treasure maps, and like I love the small details in the game. I love stumbling on a stranger who's like, hey, look over this cliff. Check out this thing. That's crazy, right? Like, I think that stuff is so rich and awesome to see. And then whenever I get bored of it, I do some story missions, and then it's just like a fun cycle for me. Like, whenever I start to feel like, oh, I think I'm bored of exploring or bored of whatever, like, it's not hard for me to just be like, okay, I'll just progress the story, and that's enough for me.
That's a game I would have had no problem spending long periods doing nothing in the story if I wasn't like playing it for review. Like there's definitely like some stuff that I've seen people talking about. Like I never found the clan in that game.
Oh,
like,
I did in front of my parents, which was a weird thing.
Like I did plenty of riding around in the woods at night, but I also spent a lot of time going to the camp at night and just like sleeping because I was sort of
I like never fucking do the camp.
Yeah, like it's half-assedly role playing that aspect of it. Yeah,
I do the camp here and there, but I feel like I'm like way out in the middle of the world, so it's like I'll go back to camp just to fast fast travel somewhere else.
There's a little bit inside of me that is like, it won't happen certainly this year, but maybe next year. Like, I might want to just go back and play through that game at my own pace again. And I realize that I'm probably very much in the minority of people who would want to do that experience again. But
I'm with you guys on the just having a lot of fun doing my own thing, like just trying to pull off a train robbery or robbing a store in like going back to Valentine after a really long time and being like, I bet I could just rob this whole goddamn town if I plotted it out right. And that stuff was really great. But then I would just run into issues with the bounty system where like somebody would bump into me in Saint Denis and all of a sudden I had people shooting at me and I had literally no recourse. I had one time where people started shooting at me. So I was like, okay, I finally figured out a nonviolent solution. I'm going to lasso them and hog tie them. And that way I'm not killing them. So my bounty won't go up. And I don't have to just run away because my story mission's right here. Like, this is the zone I have to be in. So I hog-tied them, and then the police showed up, and I got in trouble for kidnapping, even though I left them on the ground.
Yeah.
No, it's still a crime.
I found for me that, like,
they were shooting at me.
I'm just saying.
When I do those, like, accidental crimes of, like, oh, my fucking horse bumped into a guy who walked in the middle of the road, I just leave, and then usually I don't even have a bounty. Because it's like, they're searching for me, the one who goes away, and it's fine. But I
don't want to leave because that's where my story objective
that's totally
is.
fair, yes. It's, like, definitely very annoying. But I also
But then that
find
also happens, like, you know, if you're doing that on a mission, that'll fail a mission out.
I haven't had it happen during a mission. But I also find that there is some stuff that's like not always intuitive with like sometimes you lose honor for looting bodies and other times it seems like you're very much encouraged for looting this body because it's like, oh, I got a letter that I wouldn't have seen otherwise. And that stuff I find a little bit frustrating.
It's a little inconsistent. Like, I think the way they're trying to delineate that is like if it's an innocent person, like it's looting them as bad, but if it's like someone who is the game has determined is bad.
No, totally. But I have stumbled upon people who are dead and clearly innocent people. I think the difference is like, has a bad person in the game killed them, or is this a person you found dead already? Right. That like is this part of the story? You know what I mean?
Jan?
I think it's a very fantastic world that I like experiencing and like all the random stuff you can find. Like I just found like a decapitated body and then like here's a map. It's like, oh, come find me. Or
or
to that. But I just don't enjoy playing it.
Yep.
Because you know, similar to Jeff and Dan, it is very slow. It is very deliberate, and I understand that. I do love my horse.
I love your horse too.
What's your horse's name?
Has it evolved yet? Have you what type is it? Are you going on raids?
Ponytail?
Is it still a scarf?
Rapidash.
It's a psychic now.
Okay. Wow.
I named it Little Kicks.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
With an X or is IC?
X, and then I added a 420.
Oh, nice.
Cool. Good.
But I don't know. Maybe I'm just not a fan of Rockstar games. I enjoy the world. Definitely, like the presentation's amazing. Like I definitely watched them do an Old Western. But I also don't think I'm a fan of Old Western games because of the weapons.
Okay,
right.
I love them. Yeah. I don't know. I'm refusing to grind this one out. Like I'm okay going into Game of the Year, having played a lot of it, but still not being all that far into it because I think this is a game that encourages you to mosey and take your time with it. And I think that I might also get burned out too if I was trying to, you know.
I would have played it like this anyway. Like I needed to see the end of the story ASAP because A, I was terrified of spoilers, and B, I was just really compelled by it. Like Arthur's story, I think is great.
All right, Dan.
Okay. For years, how many times has one person's enthusiasm gotten something to the top 10? This is the first time I've never like pulled this card or argued this hard for something most disappointing. But the precipitous drop in me spending ever since it was announced, I just assumed like, well, of course that's going to be my number one from game of the generation for the first Red Dead Redemption, one of my favorite games of all time. To go from that to a game that's nowhere near my top 10 of the year. I actively dislike Red Dead Redemption.
Despite being a much better game.
It's a worse game in every way. Well, no, okay, hang on.
Right,
Here's the worst game. Worst video game.
Not even you can argue that.
I don't agree with that.
No. Listen, I'm not saying it's the worst story. I'm not saying it's worst characters. It is some of the. I'm going to have to bring up this stuff again when we get to best game. But I think, again, the story, the characters, so many things about the world and the level of detail. I think I said it on maybe one of the first Beastcasts after I was playing it. I was in awe constantly, but I was never having fun. And for me, obviously, gameplay goes above all else. And you can make the argument that, hey, it wasn't perfect back then, but it was also 8 years ago. And open world games have evolved since then, and I have higher expectations. And I assume that Red Dead 2 would have kept up with my expectations. And
they had enough time. to
maybe
do something.
It feels old. It feels bad. The shooting is not good. The mission structure is old and dated and boring. All of that stuff around the game part of it is so good, but everything about the playing the game I thought was laborious and boring, downright unenjoyable. And so I cannot argue hard enough. Game of the generation to not even close to my top 10 of the year. You can argue stuff about how like Fallout 76 and stuff like you thought, oh, maybe it'd be okay for a second and then it wasn't. That's nowhere near how disappointed I am with Red Dead Redemption 2.
That's fair.
You were very excited.
And the thing I will counter with this is that you're certainly not the only person I've heard this from.
Right.
I cannot relate. I just can't. The things you found laborious and boring, I found transfixing and deeply enjoyable.
Yeah,
I'm not going to stand here and tell you that every part of that game controls great. I'm not going to tell you every single system works the way it should. I'm not going to tell you every aspect of the writing holds up to the light of day the way that you would maybe want it to. But very few times in that game did I ever sit there and think to myself, I wish I was doing something else.
I know, and I know I am not going to change anyone's mind. I'm not trying to change opinion. Right. I know a lot of you guys loved it and could see past the shortcomings in the gameplay. I am saying I will throw all of my disappointment. It's a personal, it is just me, but I have never, ever in my life been anywhere close to this disappointed with a video game.
The one place I would counter what you said is that I don't see it, at least in my case, it sounds like for Alex and probably Abby too, it's not a case of seeing past shortcomings, it's not seeing them as shortcomings.
Oh, I know, but I do.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm just trying to say that we are not necessarily forgiving things we think are bad. Those are things we think are good.
And I know, and I'm not trying to convince
the movement, you think from being standing still to moving the left stick is good?
Yes. I will say I have not
If you can say you don't think bad, then I can maybe go like, I can tell you.
I haven't thought, it never was a standout thing.
First of all, I wasn't talking about the movement there.
But you were talking about it as a video game. You're saying the things you thought.
I didn't say every part of the video game.
Well, I straight up said the game has its shortcomings, but if you're actually going to talk about the movement, I'm going to say straight up.
I mean, I'm one of the people who basically stopped playing The Witcher 3 because I hated the movement in that game, and I did not have that problem with this game.
The entire time I was playing it, and I was under a time crunch.
This game makes The Witcher look fucking spry.
Different. No, it is different.
Hang on. I was under a time crunch to play that fucking game. I had a limited amount of time to get that review up and done. Of anyone at this table who should have been frustrated and annoyed at the movement and speed of that game, I think I maybe had the most justification, and I never thought about it. Never.
I wouldn't say never.
At being able to only play for 20 minutes at a time, having two kids, makes me very annoyed that some of the movement in that game is very slow.
Here's when I didn't like it. For about the first 5-ish hours, maybe, first couple days I was playing it, and then when I had to take a break to review Hitman and play a few other things, when I came back to it for the first hour coming back to it, I was like, ooh, this is slower. Playing those other games gets you out of it. So I would go as far as to say anybody who was playing other games concurrently with Red Dead probably had a worse time with it than I did.
Sure.
Because I was just fully in that thing and not even thinking about other games and just so in tune with and used to what it does that it didn't bother me.
Also, keep in mind, I came off that I went from Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is the most movement in any game that probably came out this year.
Yeah.
And that is a game where it's just you run into a wall at full speed and you just start climbing up it. And, I went from that to Red Dead.
Which is also, I will say, in Alex's defense, also a 70 to 80 hour game of a lot of games into a game that is also a lot of...
I think, I agree with the sentiment that there are aspects of that game's control design that do not work well. I think a lot of the button configuration things that they built for that game are not comfortable in a way that I would consider recommendable. But when it comes to the movement and the pace of that game and sort of moving Arthur through the world and just sort of moseying my way through the Old West that they have depicted, it was never a consideration for me.
I would even add to that not only is none of that stuff insurmountable, but it's not even that hard to surmount. You have to stick with it. Yes, it requires an investment. That game is not for the impatient. It is not for people who want to have a fucking classical video game power fantasy, run up walls and leap onto people and cut their throats. It is not that kind of game.
I didn't come in wanting that either, and I was still a little disappointed with some of the stuff, especially combat missions. The game really in chapter 5, at the beginning of chapter 5 and the end of chapter 6, there's a lot of missions where you shoot a lot of guys, and it's just the act of let go of the aim button, press the aim button, flick the stick up a tiny bit, hit the shoot button, let go, just rinse and repeat, kind of like the auto aim, just locking in on guys.
Like you are totally right about that, but that all serves just the fantasy of being the baddest gunslinger in the West, which is even an idea that your gang reinforces because they frequently comment about how Arthur is the best shot in the gang. So when I was locking on to people and just popping off headshot after headshot,
I think also for me,
it felt cool.
Like the shooting. I like the shooting in Red Dead 1. I like the shooting in Red Dead 2.
The thing about the shooting is like it locks on to torso when you lock on, so it takes a little finesse to pop off headshots. So
like stick up.
I know, and that felt good. Like pop, if pop and lock onto head.
If there is an aspect of Red Dead that I find disappointing, I think it's the part where, for as much as they get away from a lot of the Rockstar cynical fucking stereotypical bullshit, it's the moments when they don't.
Like the electric chair stuff, I think is the easiest example.
Yeah,
of
that you know, it's a stranger mission, so it's optional. But like, it is just like the most fucking boilerplate. Like fucking look at this guy getting electrocuted for way too long. Isn't that funny?
Really makes you think.
Yeah,
I will say the journal entry made me feel a little less gross about it. Like I thought his journal entry had some nuance, but
it's also, I mean, the guy gets what's coming to him.
No, I know. I'm not saying like the guy is in some way like a sympathetic character and it's awful to watch that happen to him.
No, I'm talking about the inventor, not the criminal.
Yeah, the inventor is not a great dude.
Yeah, and he dies at the end.
Yeah,
like that. You know.
But also, I just like.
I'm not saying it's nowhere near the best mission in the game, but
there's other stuff too. Like I think that their handling of indigenous characters is something that bugged me throughout the. You know, like I think that. While Charlie is in general like a pretty enjoyable character, I think some aspects of his backstory are very stereotypical. I think a lot of the stuff involving, you know, rains fall and eagle flies, that whole quest line just feels like, to use Rob Zachney's terminology, like the exact same way that they sort of used the native struggles in America as a cudgel to beat the American dream. Like they just kind of do that again. And it's a bummer. Like I think it's way too steeped in stereotype, and I think there are other parts of that game that also just feel like they're culling from bad stereotypes. And it really kind of annoyed me. But there is so much of that story that I think does get away from that I'm ultimately able to still enjoy and recommend a lot of what that story and that game is doing.
And I think there's going to be more conversation to be had as far as where this places on best game of the year. I'm saying if this is most disappointing game of the year, and you look at the other stuff on this list, like. Is there as much disappointment? Like, I know I'm definitely the most disappointed by Red Dead, but it sounds like other people do have certain levels of disappointment.
I have no level of disappointment.
Not everyone.
I have a very minor disappointment.
I know, but I'm saying most disappointing game of all time for me. Are we saying that consensusly, like, us thinking We Happy Few might be okay for a second and then it wasn't okay?
But
like
the difference is nobody thinks We Happy Few was good.
But you know what? In the past, whether it was Invisible Ink or Stardew Valley or Dream Daddy, there were games that, because of the enthusiasm of one or two staff members, that has been enough to push it on.
Well, but that was because nobody else on staff was vehemently against it.
And also, nobody else. I can't speak to all of those, but I know for some of them, nobody on staff had played them.
That's true.
Right? It seems like one person fighting for it because they were the only one to advocate for that.
Also, a lot of that stuff has been in the actual top 10 versus like these individual categories.
Right. Most all those examples I just gave are. Yeah. We'll see if I get it on here, but I just cannot stress enough.
I'm not necessarily averse to it being on here, weirdly enough, and I don't. It's nowhere near a perfect game, but it is one of my favorite games of all time.
I understand that, and it can be both. So, it can be my most disappointing game ever and one of your favorites.
But I guess to follow on from the model you're establishing here, my feeling about the game cancels out your feeling.
And I would say
equivalent.
I am in a similar vein to Brad.
We've had similar stuff happen before. I think Destiny was in a similar place at one time. Where is one of the best games, but most disappointing. I am kind of indifferent right now on Red Dead 2. Come my personal game of the year list, it could be very high or not on it, so I haven't gone enough of it, but it feels like exactly what I expected my memory from Red Dead. The thing I remember saying before that game came out is like, boy, my problems with Red Dead are like some of the movement controls and the skinning. My problems with Red Dead 2 are some of the movement controls and the skinning.
Yeah. Like, and I feel like for me, coming from Red Dead 1 as someone who really loved Red Dead 1, and like, I totally concede that, like, yeah, when I'm fucking mopping up 100%, I would love to skip some of the skinning stuff. But in this Red Dead 2, like, instead of just taking it away and making another kind of arcadey shooter in the style of, like, you know, Rockstar games, which I still probably would have been thrilled with, they made me like the shit I hated in Red Dead 1.
That is 100% what it is.
So I went the other way because I've heard the argument about the first one. Like, Vinny, you've always said the thing about the skinning animations in the first one. And for me, I just loved that game so much that, like, I was like, I don't have a problem with this at all. I never had any issue. And this one, it's not just that the skinning animations are long. It's like that thing that made you annoyed by the skinning animations. It's like they threw that onto literally everything Arthur or John does, whether it's picking up a can of fucking corn or opening a drawer or getting on or off his horse or getting to a thing or walking through the camp. Like, it was that frustration you had with this one thing that I feel they just copied and pasted onto every action in the entire game.
Sure.
For me.
I mean, I see that as well. I think, but it's not a surprise to me. Like, to me,
surprised me.
Yeah, like, it is the sequel to Red Dead.
I went into it hoping that it would be that I would like it more. After having not liked Red Dead 1 pretty much at all. And I was like, okay, well, they've had a long time. And if you look at the trajectory of GTA, there was a lot of, people complained about the shooting in Grand Theft Auto all the way back, and every year it got a little bit better to where that argument started to fall away for more and more people until you got around 4 or 5, which is kind of the Red Dead 2. But
5 is where it got.
5 is like where it's like, this doesn't match up to other games involving shooting, but you can get it done. And you can lock onto the targets and do what you need to do. And it's generally fine. And Red Dead 2 just kind of like mirrors that. But I was hoping that they would follow that model across all systems and go like, okay, we've improved everything in Red Dead 2. And I tried it. I played more Red Dead 2 than I did Red Dead 1, going like, this gotta be more to, and like, no. This, like you said, they mapped that sluggishness across every part of the game. It feels like they learned all the wrong lessons from Red Dead 1 to me, and just like double down on the worst shit in that.
And I think it makes the whole product unenjoyable to me. And like, if I watched all the cutscenes and saw all the dialogue and everything on YouTube or something, I would appreciate it for the great story.
All this talk we've had about all the story stuff, I'm like, man, that sounds fucking incredible. These characters sound great. The story sounds like the thing, but the video game part of it, whatever, man.